you guys remember our Beauty and the Beast episode where I was delayed like 8 seconds a year ago? That's the state I'm in today. So you'll have to work with me again.
And of course,
the size of a barge.
You're referring to Beauty and the Beast, the Ron Perlman, Sarah Connor, I don't remember her name, show. Okay, which was a very normal show where a woman was simply dating a beast who lived in the sewer.
Rob, definitely been a few nights where you left marks on the couch after that episode, right?
Linda Hamilton? Yeah, Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Wait, she was
in Terminator.
Oh, she was Beauty, not the Beast.
Well, she was not the Terminator, Russell. I mean,
how would you like being Ron Perlman and being like known for, man, I'm so fucking ugly.
Yeah.
That they can put me, like, they don't even have to dress me up like an animal in this show. Yeah. They just say I'm the Beast.
Yeah, no, it's like,
then he went on to bigger and better things. He was Hellboy and Clay from Sons of Anarchy. What a career!
Freaks. All of them need to look like freaks. Like there is no makeup on him in the in that Hellboy. He looks like a.
That's just how he is.
I will say this: at one point, me and the landlord, I think you'd call her at this point.
Oh,
the landlord did watch
the script.
Maybe the first show we ever watched together, like episode by episode, was Sons of Anarchy. Mm-hmm. And at one point, we did Google that Ron Perlman had traded in his older wife for a younger new wife, and we had a discussion about whether that was an okay thing to do.
Like, because you're saying the clock is ticking?
I'm just saying there's a difference in 1 versus 2.
That's what Manny's always talking about, right?
So weird.
He's always talking about
every time Manny texts, he's always texting about can't wait to trade in my wife.
Yeah.
Can't wait to trade in my wife.
Well, you know, my goal was when I turned 40, I was going to trade her in for 220s, but it didn't. And I realize now I haven't told that joke in 3 years. I'm kind of depressed, actually. All right, let's get started. In 2020, 4 friends decided to listen to every one of the greatest 500 albums as decided by Rolling Stone magazine. This resulted in a text chain that celebrated the music, excoriated the order, and led us to making this podcast. We are far from experts. We promise to do almost no research. All opinions are our own unless you disagree. Now, what's this next video I brought up here? What's this? Oh, yeah, it's a nice one. Please sit back and enjoy.
Shaw Brothers film?
Beck did it better. We are all the way up to album 154, and from 1972, we've got a live one. It's Amazing Grace by the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin.
Hey, Rob, real quick, I got to ask you something. Are there any YouTube comments on that Gong Sound YouTube video that you use? Like, do people comment on it or not?
Let's see. There is one comment. Oh, no, excuse me. You think I can't get back to a page? You think I'm not some internet wizard where I can get back to a page, reopen, close tab? You know what I'm doing here. Let's see. Okay, so wait a minute. Just ignore what I said earlier. Am I an internet wizard? Just let me. Comments are turned off. Russell.
Why would you turn comments off?
I would say
off on the Gong Sound.
I would say that's a hit from the Gong. If I could put a comment on that.
Hey, Rob, just start clicking on those gongs to the right there until you find one that has comments.
Okay, let's click on some
Gong with
gongs.
some comments on it.
Okay,
what's up on Gong internet
that
today?
Gong is a minute. These Gong songs are an hour long.
You passed like 3 of them up above. There's a bunch of them. Just
Gong.
Russell thinks as a teacher I don't know how to navigate YouTube in a fast manner. Okay,
what's
fine.
that one right there?
Right here.
Wow. Hey,
that's a
2020.
Oh, that's a deep,
now I'll tell you what.
Long gong.
Comments or no?
That is a long gong.
46,000 views. They get way more views than our podcast does. Just a gong sound. We should just replace this podcast with a gong.
Going.
You know what Hall & Oates would say to this, though?
What's that?
Now she's gone. Comments are turned off
again.
Comments are turned off. They're turned off again.
Turned off again.
Are you on some kind of incognito YouTube browsing thing?
I don't know. I'm on my dad's computer. We're on a VPN and an incognito. It's so weird. Is Big Gong, and literally that was a big gong that we heard. Is Big Gong holding comments back on YouTube? Like, is there some sort of
a gong conspiracy?
Oh, so wait a minute. Aliens have landed. Some guy told some guy who went and testified for Congress. And Big Gong doesn't allow comments. 2 equally interesting things this week in the news. Don't say Back to the Better didn't teach you anything.
You know who the only people in the world that are bigger losers than us is people that put gong sounds on YouTube. Like the person that is videoing this and putting it up on YouTube, bigger loser than the 4 of us.
Dude, I don't know. That gong sound kind of rules.
It was
but the problem is that jackass is probably making money off that gong sound from all the ads that it's popping up with. So
listen, let's get into it. Guys, let's just turn on the radio. Listen, we're up north. We're all roasting. It's H8H, hot as hell up here. Let's turn on the radio and see. Maybe there's a song that maybe was covered on this album that is on the radio, but it's not the actual version from the album because that would be impossible. Here we go. But the fact that I did write a new song, I just want to say it shows how hard I'm working because I could have just used an old Aretha song about Aaron's loving feet, which is one of my favorites. But here we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to K-Rob, K-R-O-B. You know, this show's about a lot of things, but it really is about friendship. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I went for a boat ride with Russell, and we made a little plan. We would make a podcast about the top 500 albums.
A little stretch there.
And now I think it's been 3 years since we began. And I thought that things would be different by now.
You should know better.
I just want a little more fame. And I'll do whatever I can. Would this show be better if it was just me and Aaron?
Oh, big thumbs up from Aaron.
Wow, I'm honored.
This took a
Maybe I'm thinking too small. Do I really need these goals at all? Until I'm famous, yeah. I'll have to pretend that these guys are my friends.
Ooh, a little acapella.
Whoa. That's intense.
that's some art there. That's some art.
Yeah, right? Because you're just playing a character, right? Just playing a character.
You know what's worse than doing a parody song in front of your whole family at the cabin? Coming up with one when it's really hot out. It sucks.
I've got the perfect podcast for you, Jack. Beck did it better.
I had so many versions of that where it was just terrible. Like, this podcast should end. And I was like, I can't do this. It's too real. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that later. All right. So welcome to Beck Did It Better. And listen, okay, I've got 4 guys here who love music and church. In fact, we're going to open our Bible today to the part about Shrek.
Oh.
Can you open it, please, to Psalm?
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
By the way,
Very good joke.
go look at a
That's
picture.
a very good joke.
I didn't steal it from somebody on Twitter. Go look at a picture of the lead singer from Smash Mouth. And why was I not a singer in the 90s? God, I could have been so fucking rich. God,
Just spike your hair up and you wear a funny shirt.
I mean,
Is it the same guy that was in Sugar Ray?
No, Mark
Very
McGrath. No. Do you even
Different
watch
guys?
Entertainment Tonight? Yeah. What are you talking about? Bro. Smash Mouth and Mark McGrath. No, them on together at a show.
Is
I'd be
Smash
right
Mouth
there.
guy the same as Guy Fieri?
No, Smash Mouth guy. Now, didn't he do a solo
Similar, I
song?
say.
What was the guy who did the song where it's just a guitar? I know what it's like. Who was that? The lead
That's-
singer of?
Everlast from House of Pain.
Oh my God, Aaron, that was so good that you got it from my song. I'm such a good singer. This is crazy. I've got 4 guys.
The album was
who-
called The Blues of Whitey Ford or Whitey Ford Sings the Blues or something like that.
Whitey Ford sings the blues.
Yeah, so yeah.
Do you ever forget something like your wife told you to do like on Saturday? And then you realize that you have that knowledge in your head?
Yeah. Yeah, and then she listens to this podcast. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
she's like, well, I asked you to clean up the cat puke off the steps and you forgot that, but you
Yeah.
remember Whitey Ford Sings the Blues.
Yeah. She's like, I noticed that you talk a lot with your friends and you're not just wearing noise canceling headphones walking around the apartment.
I gotta ask, Garrett. So these cats that aren't yours, that you like just put food out there, they puke
Yeah.
on your doorstep, and you still just are like, yeah, come on by.
Yeah, we're stuck with them now. What are we going to do? Kill them? I mean, like the cats are ours now.
ignore 'em.
Like,
There's
geez.
some gray area, I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
they,
what
they
will
come
these-
by every day.
What will these nature's perfect hunters do if I don't feed them? I wonder. Well, I have no idea.
I've been to Aaron. He lets them into the house too. They just roam the house.
Oh my God.
It's terrible.
You let feral cats into the house, Aaron?
Sure, they come in and then they leave.
Oh my God. The first time I got an itch on my leg, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, I got fleas so bad. All right. Listen, I've got 3 guys here. Matt in North Dakota tonight. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
Up in Nodak. I'm going to shout all my troubles over this podcast. Let's talk about Aretha Franklin.
I like it.
Russell in northern Minnesota. Russell, how are you doing tonight?
Guys, I once was lost, but now I've found. I was blind, but now I see that Rob and his podcast have ruined my only vacation that I get to take all year because I had to come in from outside at the fire with friends and family to record with you guys. So, thanks for nothing, assholes.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I've been hanging out with I haven't hung out with my family enough. I wish I could hang out with them more. I'm so sad to be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I didn't make a 2-hour episode because I was trying to get away from everybody. All right. And of course, I've got...
You get like 4 days off a year. Rob's making me do this.
Oh, yeah. Your work vacations, 10 days of traveling around. Plus, you went to Mexico this year. I know you went to Mexico this year. Yeah, you were at that trip to Mexico that we all talked about. All right.
We're not talking about that anymore.
Most of us talked about it. Yeah. Some of us talked about it.
Seemed to think it was fine to be. She was on the text chain. Oh, said the name. God damn. Can't be doing that. All right. And I've got Aaron here who thought that instead of the album Amazing Grace, that we were watching the show Amazing Race. And he was excited because he loves reality TV because he does not support the writers in this strike. He told me before we started that he's more anti-union than Robert E. Lee. That is so what the heck, Aaron? Aaron.
Hang
Aaron's been waving this flag all night. It's kind of, some would say inappropriate, but.
I'll be right, but just wait.
It's about unions, he says. Aaron is getting up. His headphones apparently are wireless because he's just walking out.
No wonder they don't work for shit. Can you imagine being on a work call with that guy and he walks in with that audio quality?
What do you say to him when he says, "Does my headphones sound good?" I mean, no, they don't. No. You know they don't. Oh shit, he can hear us though because it's wireless. I didn't even think of that.
God, I had to go get.
It looks like Aaron went and got a La Croix again.
I went to get an Anchor Steam Union made beer. I went to go get a Union made beer just to fight against all that slander. But I wanted to say, I'm excited to be here with you guys who make me feel safe. So safe.
Oh.
So safe. So safe. Let's talk about Aretha.
Aaron, those cats are never coming back again.
Oh, no. Aaron, just imagine a wild animal's outside. You let it into your house. There. That's the end. That's the story right there. That's Aaron's life.
That's the story. That's how I'm living.
So, Aaron, the first time you guys let that, is there a discussion with you and your wife, or does one of you just do it? The other one's like, what in the fuck are you doing? And then there's no way you just I'll just say this. I would be short a co-tenant if we just had a random cat that's staying in our house for a day. I think we've
discussed this, though. Matt, go ahead. Matt, you've seen this. You've seen how it works.
You kind of have a little bit of a reason, right? Little old lady across the street, they're her cats, and basically somebody had to sort of take care of them.
Yeah, so they're not entirely feral. They belonged to the lady who lived next door.
She went live?
She's dead now.
Yeah.
And
she went into to feed the cats living for a while because they did feast on her corpse. But
and she went into assisted living, and while our house was up for sale, the neighborhood took care of the cats, and then like suckers, we were like, sure, we'll feed those cats. And so they've been indoor, outdoor cats before. Like this is not the first time
they don't sleep indoors, right?
No, Alice would sleep indoors, but I kick her out at night because I don't want to have a litter box.
Do you know where they sleep? Like, do you have any idea?
Yeah, there's a neighbor across the street that has like a little cardboard kingdom for them, so that's where they sleep.
Jesus Christ!
So do you ever wake up and like the occasional time where you do have to wear pants? You go in and like you put on pants, you've got cat hair all over them, or does that not happen yet?
No, not really.
His wife doesn't let him. His wife doesn't let him wear pants.
Yeah. I mean, why would you cover this up?
I got these worms around my asshole. Where do they come from? It's so weird.
No, they're not in here for very long. So like, I'm not covered in cat hair. It's like it's best of both worlds. Like the cats show up every day. It's like an exciting thing. Like, oh, Alice is here for breakfast, and you like give her some food. She takes off.
God.
She comes back for dinner. Sometimes she comes in the evening. Sometimes not. Then you throw her out at night. It's like living on a farm.
Oh, no, it's no. No, they do not let the animal. You do not let the animals inside on a farm, Aaron. You don't.
That's true. That part's
Nobody
true.
lets the
That's
horses
true.
in at night.
I've
The cows
also
don't come
noticed that Aaron is now on his Zoom sign-in is going by AR. Is this what you go by at work, Aaron? Like, do you insist that people call you AR?
Yeah, the problem
Might as well
is.
just put 15. Just
Yeah,
put
the problem
15
is
right
14
after
people,
that.
14 people had the username, so I had to put AR15.
I know because I'm on my work
Aaron's
laptop.
like, let me go
That's
show
what
you
I'm
guys.
asking. At work, this is what you have people call you?
I sign emails that way sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
You sign emails. Oh, well, we can't say any of this, right? Well, no, I guess we can.
Yeah, AR is fine. Nobody knows. Like
You
I'm a
sign
Yeah, it's
emails?
true. I'm a Rothschild. It's true.
AR?
So now everybody knows.
Oh, we should.
Yeah, I sign
Why
emails
am I
AR.
paying the hosting fees for this podcast interview? You,
Russell, what is the appropriate sign off for an email at work? Is it thanks? Have a great day.
I'm a thanks.
Best.
I'm a thanks, comma, name underneath. I've got colleagues that do regards. I don't quite get the regards one.
Mhm.
I've got colleagues that do best. I don't get
Yep.
that one.
I
I'm
don't
a thanks.
like best.
No matter.
Yeah.
I'm a thanks, Russ or Russell after every email, no matter what it is.
I do not trust a best.
Yeah, I
to begin
agree.
With, anybody
Hey,
with the best, you just can't trust.
Can I
them.
tell you, guys, something? First of all, I do. Please let me know if you have any questions, because that's a sign of please don't let me know if you have any questions. It's the people that do dear to me. That's the one that gets me. I'm like, you are not in love with me. I am not your dear, Rob.
fair.
You do not need to,
Yeah.
do not send me that. I am not at the Civil War with Aaron. Okay. Fighting on the South is when we reenact it. He makes me be in the South. And
Yeah, because I want to be on the North. Boom.
you'd be against me, Aaron? Brother against brother?
Yeah, man.
It happens. Story as old as time.
Is this our role playing section?
This is the role
No,
play.
it's not.
It's our LARPing. It's our
Yeah.
LARPing section.
Yeah, I made a cardboard bayonet.
Oh,
I've got cardboard infection in my heel. That was Abraham Lincoln's son, Tad, who died of that. All right. So now that you guys have learned something from this podcast once again,
appreciate you.
listen, can I just say this before we get to the voicemail? And the voicemail is more important than this. No, you know what? Let's do the voicemail first. Here, let's get into the voicemail.
Ooh, those freaks.
And by the way, tons of voicemails. We don't need any. Full up, okay? Don't need any. See you later.
Swimming in voicemails.
I've
0
heard,
to
Rob,
60.
I've heard from friends via text chain that the voicemail is often full. Is that true? That you don't delete them and that's people call in and it's full?
I don't know. I've never called the voicemail. It can't be full. It can't be.
We've had multiple texts from people saying that it is full when people try and leave
We
messages.
have not had those texts. I have never gotten those texts. Why would you not forward me one of those texts and just let me know? Give me a heads up, baby.
How do you forward a text?
Well, I don't know, Aaron. Copy and send.
Copy, paste.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
ARs. Love AR.
Best.
All right.
AR.
Let's get into
Dear
it.
Rob.
Looking to get some advice, fellas. I've been trying for the longest time to talk all of the tenants in my household to stop celebrating birthdays and start celebrating achievement days. So every year on January 1st, you get to reflect on the past year, decide what your major life accomplishment was, and pick
Whoa.
that corresponding day in the new year to celebrate as an achievement day. You can keep that achievement day for several years if nothing else comes up, or you can pick a new one each year. On the flip side, if you get to that first, you have nothing to celebrate. Now it's reflection time. You got to pick it up in the next year so you have something to celebrate.
Man.
For example, achievement days could be Aaron makes anus without his face melting off. Rob
Like it.
consumes the most Cadbury eggs he's ever had in one 24-hour period.
Oh, my God.
Love it.
Play the hits. All right, guys. Interested to
Play
hear
the
your thoughts.
hits.
Okay, now first of all, let me
This
just say a
is a
couple
great
things.
idea.
This sounds like a guy who's got a number of posters in his house, like "Be better than you were the day." You know what I mean? Like this guy as a kid definitely had a picture of Michael Jordan dunking, and it said like determination, and then like defined it underneath. Where he's like, "I'm going to be better every year." Guess what? I'm going to celebrate my birthday. And okay, don't tell me to not celebrate my birthday. Why can't we do both? I'm getting rid of my birthday for an achievement day. That was the most insane thing I've ever heard. God, these callers.
I think people who ask about achievements are typically very physically fit too. They're like running their fastest time. They're running their fastest marathon. They're achieving something when they're lifting. They're essentially putting it on you to be like, Guess how much more I've accomplished than you have this year. I think it's kind of like a fuck you question. Yeah.
I like this, though. I like celebrating achievements in life. The caller did not specifically mention physical achievements except for Rob eating the Cadbury eggs.
Which would be
me cooking anus.
Now, what do you think you could eat more of? Cadbury eggs cut in half or deviled eggs?
They're both disgusting.
God, I want to try it. So wait, you got to have like a week to recover in between, right? So you do like one deviled egg day and then a week later you do Cadbury egg day?
I bet I could do more deviled eggs, but it'd be close.
I think I could too. Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, man. I mean, one would make you so constipated, and I think the other one would help after. But Aaron, what would you pick for your achievement day? Tell me about your achievement day. What are we celebrating in Aaron's family? The cats are all over. Okay. What are we celebrating for Aaron's achievement?
I don't know. This is highly personal and is probably not going to be funny, which is Rob's least favorite thing on the podcast. If I say something that's not funny,
can't imagine.
I think for me, this is something I'm still really working on, and there's some recency bias here. So this just happened. It happened a week ago tonight. We were at a birthday party for a friend of my son's, and it's at our former neighbor's house. So it's the people that we live next to for my son's entire life. And we had so many really rough exits from that place. Like every time, like we'd go over there to have a play date, and every time we left, he would melt down and I would go off the rails and I would make it worse.
Yeah.
And we had a bad one not that long ago. So I really tried to figure out a way that I would not escalate the situation. And so this last time we were over there, now they got a fucking zip line in their backyard. They got like all kinds of stuff to play with. Like the kids do not want to leave.
You're like, we got a feral cat.
Yeah, the kids do not want to leave this place. Like it
my dad makes way better parents than you and Rosie's wife at gmail.com.
I don't want to come to your house. Your dad just makes us pick up figs.
Right. No. Oh, hey, listen. No, these people, they would come pick pigs. Like these people would come pick figs. This like
don't know what that means,
people, man. Like no, these people are from Berkeley. They would come over and pick figs for hours on end if I gave them the opportunity. That's a whole different story. But we were over there a week ago tonight, and things were going off the rails. My son ran by and punched me in the stomach when I told him we had 5 minutes left to go. But I kept my cool. I didn't blow up. We got home. We had a smooth transition out of that place. And for me, that's my achievement day. So that was that was something I had like. I'm still working at it and I'm trying to get better, but I didn't escalate a situation that didn't
sounds like an
escalated.
Unchecked physical assault to me.
Yeah. It's so, Aaron, the only reason I'm laughing is because I love to think of you one day on the toilet and then like your son comes in and beats you up and films it and gets a show on MTV, like that's famous for picking on his dad. That's gonna happen to me. Yeah, but it's also because I think we've all been there as parents where your kids are being such dipshits. They're just being the worst. And you just want to tell them like, you fucking get in the fucking car right now. I'm so mad at you.
Of course.
And you can't. And they punch you and you have to be like, let's not be too physical. And you really want to be like, give them a stone cold stunner. Like right away. That's the only thing you want to do is show them who's boss.
Yeah. So I'm really working on that. So that was my achievement day. Just 1 week ago tonight. So very recent.
Well, Aaron, that story made me so sad that that's your achievement day for the year. That's a real bummer. It was not funny. And in fact, it's quite the opposite.
I warned you, man.
My life seems so good now. I have to say, my life seems awesome, even though I am roasting in a bathroom. When do you other guys go? Do I have to
roasting in a bathroom? Would like that be a name for a band? Roasting in a bathroom. I love that as a name for a band.
I've got three achievements to share. The first relates to one of my nephews. As you guys know, one of my proudest things that I am is I think I'm a very good uncle. Mm-hmm. And one of my nephews, he's turning 8 in January.
I got the fact that you know the age of your nephews already. Well, better uncle than me. Nice
There's
work.
a reason. I don't think I know. I got to be careful here. We definitely have listeners. But my nephew, I got a call from my brother's phone 2 weeks ago. I was like, well, this is odd. My brother's kind of a quieter dude. He's not one to call and just call and chat for a few hours, if you will. So it's my brother and it's my nephew. And he's like, Uncle Russ, I told my dad we need to go see pro wrestling by my 8th birthday or else. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, Dad and I want to come down. We want to go see Monday Night Raw at Target Center in a few weeks. Yes. And so I felt like this was like an achievement of like all these old school wrestling t-shirts I've been buying, all the action figures, all the rings, talking to him about the old pay-per-views and all this stuff. He has finally become like a legit fan.
He's in.
He is all in. So in a week from now, my brother, my nephew, and I are going to be going to Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
And the best part was my nephew also.
Whoops, sorry.
My nephew also said, and Uncle Russ, I want VIP seats. Whatever that means, I think that just means he wants to sit way down in front, right? Like,
Yeah, of course.
But if your nephew says he wants VIP seats, what do you got to do?
Oh, you got to 100%.
So are you getting him on camera side, Russell? So you guys
Matt,
are on
you've been
camera
before. You tell me, where do I get him at?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to, if you can, right? You're either on the ring, on the run up to the ring, right? So the pathway from the back of the stage up to the ring, or you got to be on the back side where you go and you find which way the cameras are pointing, and you get back there so you could be on TV.
So do you want to? But do you want to be on TV, or do you want to be where they're constantly facing you because they're facing the camera?
You definitely want to be on TV, because then that kid is going to be on TV. And I don't know. I haven't watched in years, but everybody used to have signs, right? You try to get your sign on the broadcast and everything, and they end up running around the back of the ring there all the time, right there.
So my nephew is officially pumped for this, Matt.
It's so good.
Last time you've given me advice on tickets, your advice wasn't always the best, but so I've tended to shy away from everything you tell me.
Do the opposite. It's opposite.
But I will say, I was up and I saw my nephew up at Cole's Resort in Bemidji, Minnesota today, or the other day.
Home of the wife swap.
And he was pulling out all these
Hulk
action
Hogan
figures.
And the wife swap coming together, finally.
He had this moment where he pulled out a Diesel action figure.
Whoa.
And a Scott Hall NWO, and he was like, my dad told me these were two of the founding members of NWO, and he goes, I know about WCW, Uncle Russ. And I was like, you are a king right now.
Yeah, now you're fully in.
The fact that I have helped my nephew become the kid who is going to be like the pro wrestling kid at school, which is, I mean, it went great for me with the ladies in high school and whatnot, but the fact that like all my efforts as an uncle are finally paying off with one of my nephews being into wrestling, I thought was a great achievement. Is that fair?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one.
You offer your nephew a beer, and he takes it, and you got to stun him. There's just no other way. You have to. You should have known.
And then you take two and slam them together and slam them and drink them. Yeah.
That's what Matt's seen up in North Dakota
Give him
right
the
now.
middle finger.
Now, Russell, let me ask you this, Russell. Are you up to date on wrestling right now, or do you have to do some sort of speed read Wikipedia? Like if people's intro music plays, are you going to stand up and be like, "Holy shit"?
That's speed when you're talking about wrestlers.
Oh. That's the other thing, Russell.
Can't say do some speed when you're talking about wrestling.
You should just get blasted, Russell.
Is this going to be, Rob, is this going to be our Legion of Doom Hawk episode? I feel like he died a while back. We could get into that one, right? Oh, what a rush. Right?
Russell, so far you have mentioned the NWO and Legion of Doom, so I'm thinking you are not quite caught up on modern
Rob,
day.
I think I'm caught up. I mean, Matt, you've been to a show.
Group?
I haven't been to a show, but
my favorite new group, Bushwhackers.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. They're my favorite.
They lick people's heads. It's fantastic.
I like the ones where the Saudis are in charge. Oh, wait, that's all of them now.
I think I know enough, Rob, to get by. Like, I'll know the big 5 or 10 superstars or whatever. If their music goes, I think I'll know who they are. So I think I'll be all right.
Who's number one right now in wrestling?
I think it's the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, right? He's been the champ for like 4 or 5 years.
There you go.
There you go.
If I know the champion, I'm good.
Yeah.
The only thing I read was that Brock Lesnar is still like the highest paid guy in WWE.
What?
Is that? Yeah, Brock Lesnar. So he shows up like twice a month or something like that.
Part of the problem with this, though, is tempering expectations, because when you go to like a Monday Night Raw, that's like a TV show. Like, you don't see Brock Lesnar's not wrestling at that, right?
Oh, but he
like,
might be, because he lives in Alexandria.
He might
he might be at this one.
He might show up, but this isn't like a pay-per-view.
But he has to show. It's Target. Like, if it's at the Target Center, he's got to show up.
But it's not a pay-per-view, right? Like, so like in your mind, you're thinking you're like, oh, Roman Reigns is going to wrestle Brock Lesnar. And I'm like, I got to tell my nephew, like, that's not going to happen, because you're going to be disappointed otherwise, right? Matt, what do you think?
Well, I think good point.
This
but I think he definitely shows up, and he might. When's SummerSlam? That's got to be coming up.
The SummerSlam is the night before, Matt. So this is like the post SummerSlam where like storylines always change, right?
Yeah, so I was going to say he might show up and just be in street clothes, right? And he's not gonna wrestle, but he'll be there.
He'll be there
leading up to something, right? Yeah. But I don't know.
I would make a sign that says Brock eats corn sideways. Just in case. If you really want to get on TV, that's how you do it.
You know, Rob, and Aaron and I have been to a pro wrestling show together in 1999, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was SummerSlam at the Target Center. The main event was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H versus Mankind in a triple threat with the guest referee. The governor, Jesse the Body Ventura, was the referee at the pay-per-view we went to.
Yeah, that's right. I did vote for him.
I had to dive down and string a hook through something underwater and come back up. And I came up and I go, I've been living down on the Baja. Because I felt like an underwater demolitions expert. Now,
I used to do underwater work.
So Russell, what day are we celebrating Good Uncle Day?
That'll be next Monday. I believe it's about the 7th or something.
July 31st.
It's the week after that.
Oh my God, it's my anniversaries. I could celebrate both. Yes.
My second achievement is I was going to say
69 for Good Uncle Day.
I've lived with I've lived with the new landlord for about a month now, and I haven't been evicted despite an Xfinity meltdown.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty good.
Near meltdowns with being an assemblyman.
Yeah.
The lack of adequate air conditioning in the upper level. And our most recent issue, a divided approach about what we should contact a property manager over. And despite all these discussions, I have not been evicted yet. Achievement Day, 1 month.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Is the upper level where you sleep and do nighttime activities?
No, Aaron, it doesn't have to be at night. I'm just kidding. That was a joke, by the way.
I mean, daytime's great, but I mean, it's still,
during the day. Yeah, we'll do it during the day. Yeah, right, Aaron. What was it? Are you in a time machine 20 years ago? Get out of here.
And then my final achievement day.
No. Wait a minute. Yeah. I got to give you advice. Okay. First of all, are you sleeping upstairs in the hot?
Yeah, that's where the rooms are at.
No, move the mattresses down to the base. Move it down to the recording studio, Russell.
Yeah, get down there.
You gotta get her sleeping. Trust me, I know people like her. You gotta get them enough sleep, otherwise you're in big trouble.
How do you know people like her?
I know a lot of people. And the other thing, Russell, I would say this: if they want to contact the property manager, let them. What do you care? Let them contact the property manager. That's it. I can tell you, my wife takes care of every single call down where she's like, and I'm like, yep, take care of it. It's great. They think I'm great because I'll come in and I'll be like, oh man, can you believe she called you for that? But yet they're fixing like your crapper or whatever, because it's like there's so many C batteries in the toilet. I don't know why. They're fixing it.
What?
They think you're the good guy, Russell.
Finally, my last achievement day came 2 days ago. Actually, I'm celebrating it. This is kind of a big one. After 7 years, I'm actually finally testing negative for Cotton Eye Joe.
I'm going to have to edit this together. Why? This is going to sound so good on the episode.
Get it, Rob? Really Cotton Eye Joe?
Well, wait a minute. What is this?
What is this?
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married.
You played a knockoff?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Ricky Skaggs? Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
The Chieftains. I think Russell's going to see them wrestle in a tag team on Monday night. The Chieftains.
I like this. I would listen to this again.
Now, these guys do look like they've submitted to an STD test, though. Just looking at them. All right.
The guys far left. Definitely.
Enough.
Oh, Matt, what's been in your achievement day?
Nothing. I don't celebrate achievements at all. Like, it's one of those things, right? Where you're like, well, I'm going to get a new job. You just expect to get a new job, or well, I'm going to go, I don't know, shoot 80 in golf or something, and eventually you do, and it's like, okay, well,
wait, have you shot 80 in golf?
No.
I was going to say that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
But Matt, you've done stuff, Matt. I've seen you you've ran marathons in the last year. You've ran half marathons in the last year.
Right, but it's
you
like,
get up and go to yoga at 5 a.m. Those are all achievements, right?
Achievements,
yeah. Well, you know what? As soon as I can bend over and touch my toes, that'll be a good achievement. We'll celebrate that one. The day that
I'll come help you celebrate.
But it's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, you did that. Now it's time to move on to something else, right? I mean, like, you expect to get these things done, right?
Man,
I don't know.
If you come over, I'll help you with the toe touching thing, but I'm going to have to ask for my ball gig back afterwards.
All right. Well, I'll wash it first. I'll put it through the rinse cycle.
You're going to wash it. That's so nice.
Matt, I feel like you're constantly accomplishing things. I thought for sure you would have like a number of them tonight. I was almost afraid to compete with you on them tonight.
Well, I don't know. And the caller, right? Like, I don't know if he got it out of a book or he got it, what the motivation for it was, why he hates birthdays, what his mom did to him when she was younger or something. He hates birthdays or,
I
think he's right. Like,
why does he hate birthdays? What's wrong with birthdays?
I will say this. I like celebrating a birthday, but there's really, it's not much of an achievement.
No.
Right? Like, you're just here.
You just stayed alive.
And especially like a 43rd birthday. There's nothing more depressing than going to somebody's house for a 43rd. And you're just like,
but here's the thing, right? Like, and you've had it with your kids and all this stuff where it's like the one thing where everybody knows what your birthday is. So everybody kind of expects, well, we're going to go out to dinner on that day, or we're going to have cake on Sunday for the birthday or something like that, right? It's like a reason to get together with people. I'd rather get together with people than, to celebrate. It's not really celebrating the birthday. It's just getting together and hanging out with family, friends.
Think if they were getting together to celebrate your vasectomy. Like, that's fun, right? That's more fun than you turning 43. I mean, think of the cake. No white frosting.
No.
That got me. I think that's how it works.
How about you, Rob? You've
works?
done a lot of weightlifting. Do those count as accomplishments, or what's your big accomplishment?
Yeah, that's
for the
all
year?
I can think of. The only thing I can think of is like winning national champs or whatever.
You coach the world champion karaoke team at your school.
That's so rude to say to
Russell says no physical accomplishments allowed.
That is,
so.
how about I would say getting my stripe in jiu-jitsu right now. That would be what I'd celebrate next year. But I don't know. Like, maybe, what's really sad, honestly, would be like maybe when we hit 50,000 downloads coming up in the next couple of weeks, like that might be one of my big achievements of the year. Like, that's kind of crazy. That's a stadium. That's a good sized stadium. 50,
you know what? I got to give you guys credit. You guys always are trying new stuff. I think the big accomplishment is not getting the stripe at jiu-jitsu. It's walking into the class for the first time in jiu-jitsu. That's the accomplishment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Matt walking into yoga for the first time, or the new classes, whatever class he's taking. I think it's trying something new for the first time and putting yourself out there. That's the achievement, right?
And it wouldn't be the first time I went where the train was 5 minutes late and I got so nervous I turned around and went home, and I never told you guys that part of the story. That day I would not celebrate.
Only all of our listeners out there, take a moment.
Yeah.
Celebrate your accomplishments.
Yeah. I do.
And then listen to the rest of this podcast.
I like the idea of, or whatever. I do like the idea of like getting into like a just achievement day. I think it's fun. Let's do achievement days. It's back to everything.
It'd be like Rob, like if your roommate ran a half marathon, it was a big achievement. And then instead of taking them out for dinner afterwards, you built a new IKEA piece of furniture, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's an achievement.
Achievement day.
You build it so it looks like one of those triangles you can fuck on. I don't think I put this together right.
Wait, are there triangles you can't fuck on?
Well, no, the wedge. You know what I'm talking about? The bed wedge. Russ knows. Aaron doesn't know. Wow. Aaron, your hips must be so flexible. All right, rolling, going. Aaron, how's it going with you?
Oh, hey. I'm possibly my second unfunny segment. I got to get serious for a moment.
Uh-oh.
Brian from Woodbury was in town last night. By town, I mean San Francisco.
Wow.
And
now, Aaron, would you say, what percent of you guys getting together is this podcast?
70, 75. He's like,
if you didn't do this podcast and he didn't listen, would he have called you and come to hang out with you if he was in Oaktown?
I'd like to think that he would have. I don't know though, because I do think that our text chain is more active because a lot of these guys listen to the podcast. So but I like to think that he would have contacted me anyway.
I bet if it weren't for the COVID-19 pandemic, because our text chain really started up big during COVID, right?
It's true. Yeah.
I bet if it weren't for that, I don't know if he gives you a ring on this one.
Well, I didn't even know. So today's Thursday. I didn't know until Monday that he and the family were heading this direction, and he mentioned on the big text chain that he was coming this way. And so I said, Brian, what's up? And so then we fired up a little side text, and he said, would you like to join us at the Giants game? It happened to be A's at Giants.
Oh, nice.
I said I would love to. So number one, first and foremost, anytime people come to California and take time out of their family vacation to include me or to stop by to see me or like let me know. Mm-hmm. I'm so grateful and appreciative. So, sure. It's incredible to watch to be friends with you all as we continue to get older and to see our friends get older and meet their families and all of that time. So number one, 100% grateful for that.
It really is cool though to like have a group of friends is to know that they brought their kid and they didn't punch you in the stomach. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
Their kids did not beat the shit out of you. So
None of Brian's kids beat me up. So that was nice. I appreciated that. And then in an amazing confluence of events, Brian on Tuesday said, "Do you want to go to the Giants game with us?" I said, "Absolutely." So we hooked that up and I was planning to meet them at Oracle Park. And so I texted my brother because we had been talking about the U.S. Women's World Cup game. And I said, well, it turns out I'm not going to watch the game because I'm actually going to Oracle Park. And so he was like, hey, that's cool. So I was texting with my brother on Wednesday, thinking that he was in Iowa, as he often is, because that's where he lives. And then he called me at 4:45 on Wednesday night and said, hey, I happen to get stuck in San Jose. So do you mind if I come to the Giants game too?
You call it San Jose. How'd you say San Jose? San Jose?
People probably
say it again, Aaron.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Aaron, what's the city called?
You're calling it California? I thought it was California.
San Jose. San Jose.
So he said I got stuck in San Jose. I guess it's probably San Jose.
San Jose.
San Jose. Man, you guys are always listening for how I say stuff. I got to be careful how I say it.
Guys, don't pick on Aaron anymore. Go ahead, Aaron.
I've never heard the bass at the beginning of this song.
So,
it's nice.
So you call your brother calls you. He's stuck in San Jose, and then what happens?
Aaron is so
my brother
distracted
called
by
me.
music.
The Dionne Warwick is so nice. I mean, she's part of the Whitney Houston family tree, like for one run up. So I got to listen. So my brother called me at 4:45, and he was like, "Hey, I got stuck in San Jose. I might come up to the Giants game too." Sure, do it. So I end up at the Giants game last night with my brother and Brian from Woodbury and Brian from Woodbury's family. Like, what could be a more marvelous turn of events to have all these people I love in one place at a place that's beautiful. It was so fucking cold. Like, it's outrageously cold there at night, but we survived. And it was a beautiful
Russ
night.
and I are so hot. We're so hot, Aaron.
And if you think I'm not going to tell you what we ate, you're wrong, because I'm going to tell you. Because
Brian can eat. I think Brian doesn't eat for like 3 days leading up to these things just to eat a shit ton.
Did he raise your hand if you think Brian got nachos at the ballpark? Raise your hand if you got nachos. I will say yes as well. Aaron, did he get nachos?
Part of it. No, this was the best moment for me. The best moment for me was Brian and I were sitting in the row with his kids and his wife. So his wife and his kids get up to go get some food, and like we were chatting about the game. So we were sitting talking for a while longer. And then I was like, yeah, I'll probably go get some food after this half inning. He's like, yeah, let's do it. But his kids come back. His wife was still up finding some food. His kids come back, both kids with nachos. I was nice. Like that to me, like both of his kids eating nachos at the game, just perfect. And they each had their own nacho style. Like the daughter had the nice scoop of guac, and I don't think she had any steak on there, maybe some chicken. And then the son just had like steak and beans on the nachos. And it was like perfect. Like the two of them, their own nacho style.
Okay. Aaron, be quiet for a second.
Apple's not too far from the tree.
Matt and Russ, did you think at any point during the nacho story he was going to use the word steak? Steak? That's crazy, right?
Dude, Oracle Park doesn't play around.
San Francisco. San Jose. It is San Francisco.
I'm in San Francisco.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Am I saying it? Yeah. San Francisco.
San Francisco. Yeah. I don't know. So that the two kids coming back with nachos to me was like that was all
so funny.
Like that was the perfect
because let's be clear for the people. We keep forgetting that it's not just our friends listening to this. Brian, and I didn't realize this, he has eaten nachos every night. Is that true?
I think every night I knew him at like the age of 20. Every day I saw
explain to me what that means that he would eat nachos every night. What does that mean?
When we were in college, and Matt, you can jump in. My memory was in college, at least, every night he had like frozen meat, or he had like meat in the fridge. And every night he would go over to the microwave, put some chips on a plate, put a bunch of cheese on it. I believe it was shredded at the time. Matt, you might have more info. And then put meat on it, microwave that up, and he would eat it while we watched Blind Date literally every night for senior year. And I think he's continued to do it. I think the only thing he does different now, my understanding, and this is some sick shit. He makes like a single chocolate chip cookie in the oven on a nightly basis.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Serious?
Right. Yeah. Yes.
So he this is the first time, like this was foreign to me, but now we do it all the time up at the cabin. But his mom or dad or somebody would send, like, you take like those gallon Ziploc bags, right?
Yeah.
And so they would make like 4 pounds of ground beef, taco meat, freeze it, send it to college, right? And so then you just take a little bit off. And it was like, what a great idea. So you have nachos every night. And yes, he makes cookie dough, saves the cookie dough and just makes one, maybe two, but most of the time it's one cookie.
I think it's
night.
1 or 2
but
cookies
it's a fresh cookie.
every night.
It's the greatest thing in the world. Why not have a nice fresh cookie?
And I got to say, he also did have, in college at least, he always had homemade garden salsa too, right? Like salsa from home in a jar that somebody made over the summer.
What?
Listen, you guys know I love, like,
There's great stories. Hold on. There's great stories too about him. For I don't know if it was years, but like for lunch, all he would do, he would take a can of pineapple, like the tidbits, and he would just have like $1 can of pineapple. That was his lunch. That's all he had.
What?
He had that's what he had.
Rob, I don't know if you remember this. The greatest Brian from Woodbury story ever is senior year. He made a bet with the guys in our pod, like the group of like 10 of us.
Oh, I love this one.
He could stay in his bunk bed for 3 straight days without getting up.
Yeah.
So we made a bet. He was allowed 3 items in the bed. He was allowed his book bag with books so he could do homework. He had a stick so he could turn the light on and off. And then he had the remote control for the TV.
Could he go potty? Could he get up?
He was allowed to go to the bathroom, but he had to get right back in the bed afterwards.
Okay.
Wow.
I think he made it like a day and a half, and then he flipped out.
And see, here's the thing. That's an accomplishment. But Brian from Woodbury, he is zero achievement guy. Like that guy, he could care less about any achievement he's ever had. He's probably got more achievements than everybody on that on that text chain.
I am a stripe.
But yeah. So no, I think, I don't know. We got a weird group of people.
And I do have to ask, like when you're at the game, are you like, you said you were talking, like, are you talking like, man, can you believe Brent Rooker's got 20 home runs this year? Like, are you really talking baseball with each other or are you guys talking about the podcast?
Well, the thing is so I think he's going to call in because he had some stories he wanted to tell to the podcast and he did not reveal those to me. I don't know.
So
like
we
talked to Brent Rooker for sure. It's, baseball games. So that's my other beef is that, these games, man, like they go fast. The game started at 6:45.
He hates the pitch clock.
That's your beef?
Jesus Christ.
Man. Like, because I'm there with
in the minority.
I'm there with my friend I haven't seen for 20 years. I haven't seen his wife since their wedding. I saw Brian once in Las Vegas. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, it's the last out. And like, we walked out to the outfield one time to get food. We kind of went our separate ways for a minute because I wanted to get fish tacos, but then I switched to a chimichanga and then I had to wait in line for an Irish coffee. And then he wanted a bacon wrapped hot dog. So he walked all the way around looking for a bacon wrapped hot dog.
Got chimichanga and a coffee, bro.
Yes. So good. Irish coffee.
You need to look out.
A little Tullamore Dew in there. Ooh.
You're going to get gout and diarrhea at the same time. You're really going to make it to
No, he has gout. Don't worry. He's got
the gout's there. Yeah. Matt, what you got?
Just got to deal with inflammations.
I was in Atlanta, I don't know, it was 1 week or 2 ago. All right. For work. And I go to work and it's like a work event, right? So like I got to go see people. We went out the night before. I had like the first shot I've ever had in like 5 years. I just hate shots. I'm too old for shots. Don't like shots, but had a shot because I didn't have anywhere to dump it because they were like staring at me. My move now is just everybody's taking a shot, dump it on the floor, pretend you take it.
Oh no,
move on with life.
Man.
Yeah. Hate shots. Hate shots.
That's so sad, man.
So pretty just not feeling it from the night before. And this guy's like, hey, you want to go to the Braves game? And I'm like, I haven't been to the new Braves stadium yet. It's awesome.
And I love doing that.
New baseball, 2:15 to 2:30, 7:20 game. I'll be home by 10. It'll be great. Oh yeah. So everybody does, I figured this out. Everybody does a chop with the right hand. So I was doing it with my left hand. Is this how you do it?
It's the stranger.
They were like, that's offensive the way you're doing the job.
Right, exactly. That's what I was hoping somebody was doing it wrong. Am I doing it wrong? Yeah. So I go to the game and I'm like, okay, 7:20 game. We get there, we'll get our seats. It's beautiful park. They're playing the Diamondbacks were, I think, okay. I'm like, all right, we'll get out of here. I'll be home by 10. Well, the Braves decided to score 13 runs in.
Oh, okay.
They lost to the Diamondbacks, who scored 16.
Yes.
First time
I get to the game.
History, right?
The first game that I've gone to in like 3 years, they scored 29 runs. It's the most runs scored in the major leagues this year. And of course, I'm the one who's still slightly hungover, and it's 100 degrees there, and I just want to go to bed.
And as a college baseball guy, you can't just leave. You can't.
No, you never.
Oh, I can leave. But you know what? The guy who's not a college baseball guy, the guy who's a diehard Braves fan who took me to the game, bought the tickets, was buying all the stuff, he is not sorry. And I even tried to, hey, if you got to get home to the kids, I'm fine. Oh, no, I don't leave. And I'm like, fuck.
You're like, I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ. So
I'm sorry I wore this Craig Counsell jersey. I didn't realize I was a Braves fan.
29 runs in like 3.5 hours in the new baseball that's supposed to be 2:15 to 2:30. So.
I mean, I would take it. Last night, I'm out there. Like the game starts at 6:45. We barely got there we missed the first pitch because it's hard to get to the game by 6:45 in the city. And then all of a sudden, it's like 9:25, and you look up and you're like, this is it. Everyone's standing up. There's 2 strikes, 2 outs. But this is it because then Brian and his family go off into the night. My brother and me go for a nightcap, and then that's it. That's the end of my magical night.
Hey, I can spend this time with a good friend of mine for another hour, or I could walk around the ballpark for an hour looking for a chimichanga and an espresso or whatever you got.
Irish coffee.
Sorry.
Well, no, we walked out together, and Brian was like, "I got to figure out what to do." So you do your thing. So then the sad story, maybe he'll call and tell this story, is that he really wanted a bacon wrapped hot dog. He walked all the way around the park looking for one. And all the lines were too long. Finally, one guy was like, come back in 10 minutes. I'll have one for you. He went back and the guy was like, no, sorry, I'm out. So he had to eat just a regular brat. Like he didn't get to have the bacon wrapped hot dog.
Russell, it's times like this where I realize that you and I are the only normal people on this podcast. Like really, Man's like, oh, it's too long. It's too many runs. It was too good. Aaron's like, it's too short. I was all the time looking for food.
Hey, Rob, we know it was just right.
So that was it. Shout out to Brian and his family for making a real special night. Shout out to my brother for telling me he was in California, which
I'm editing all this out. I'm not letting you do shout outs. We're not doing
and it was wonderful. And how's it rolling going with Matt is what I'm curious about.
Good. Drove up to North Dakota again. We'll be here for about 10 days. So kids haven't learned to... Have you made a sting yet, Rob? It's a little too early. My kids, they haven't learned anything yet. But have you made a sting yet?
Let's do this one. What are we going to do this? Oh, yeah. How about this? Your kids are learning stuff in North Dakota, man?
Well, they will. Yeah.
It's time to find out what Matt's kids are learning in North Dakota. Oh yeah.
I prefer school long cut.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Now, I will say, if you listen to that clip, I do say North Dakota. And I was too lazy to go back and fix it. So.
What is the tobacco scene in Nodak?
Well, here, let me, you know what?
Is it cigarettes? Is it chew? Is it cigars?
It's chew.
It's
chew, yeah. Even the chick, there's some women that chew. And it's interesting.
What kids are learning in North Dakota. Oh, yeah.
North Dakota.
American spirits are good for you. They're natural.
Wow, that's interesting. But man, you were saying you do not have. So now I want to remind you, last week you did say, oh, could you make a sting for, my kids learning stuff in North Dakota? And I said, sure, and I was happy. I could make.
It's time to find out what
no problem
kids are learning in North Dakota. Oh, yeah.
My favorite flavor of Jell-O is shot.
Oh, that's crazy. But that's not what you have tonight. So that's fine. That's actually fine. Not a big deal.
No. Yeah. So next time, hopefully we've got a couple things. Yeah. Hopefully they don't learn to chew. Man, that'd be the worst. I don't know.
That would be, I got to admit, if I came home and my kid was chewing, I'd be like, what? I didn't even think I had to say something about this. Didn't even cross my mind.
Doobies, great. Having a beer, great.
Yeah.
Chewing? What? Doesn't make sense.
Oh my God. That would be the one where I'd be like, well, I failed.
Yeah. The only thing I got, we were driving up here today, and the kids, they're at the point in their life where they just pester their mom, right? So it's everything. Mom, can I have some water? Mom, can you do this? Mom, I need this. Mom, can you do this? And finally, Sarah turns and goes, why is it always me you at? Why can you never ask your dads anything? And Eddie says, because you're smarter.
Oh,
and it was like the greatest response. Whoa. It was the greatest response ever because Sarah, she just kind of said, well, that's a good answer. Here's some water.
I could really argue with that.
Yeah, so he's learning how to work the system. Yeah. So what have your guys' kids, and I should have asked you guys this before, but have your kids have they got any nice deep dives in on you guys that you can remember by chance at all?
My kids are the only ones in my life who point out, and I hate to. It's almost like when I started making fun of Aaron for this, it's come back to bite me. My accelerated hair loss that is going on right now. I have got a bald spot that I have noticed when I deadlift, and the only people who say anything about it to me are my kids, to the point where the other day my kid was in the pool with me and she said, "Oh my God, you have a 6 head." Like, and she goes, and on the side, she goes, "Oh, you look like the clown from It." And I was like, okay.
Your kids are saying what your co-hosts are thinking, right?
Wow. But I was always like, no, I don't have a hairline going back. This is just how my hair's always been. And now
so
I look
have a
and
forehead.
I'm like,
you don't have a 5 head. You have a 6 head.
it looks like a bowling ball. I mean, it really does. Like, but the problem is, if I start shaving my head, guys, there's no way I'm a good looking shaved head guy, right? There's no way.
I think so. Yeah, you could do it.
You keep the beard. Yeah, you're good.
I don't know. I think I'm going to be more of a marshmallow than like a Steve Austin. I just cannot.
Well, you could try it once. Maybe not right now. You got plenty of time before school starts. Give it a shot.
Not right.
Okay, okay. Well, babe.
Mine is the one, like, Wallace will jump in our bed in the morning and then bust my balls because I have morning breath. He'll be like he'll come in and like want to snuggle with mom, and he'll be like, "Dad, your breath smells," or like, "Dad, you smell bad." I'll be like, I didn't invite you to come in here, dude. Like, don't come in here and tell me how bad I smell.
This is my space. This is my space. Yeah, like, you came into my space.
Right. Yeah. Like, you jumped in here and now you're telling me I smell bad. Like, I do. I got it. Like,
you got bad breath and the Wi-Fi is slow. And you're like, God, you know just how to get me.
I did have a niece actually was earlier tonight that busted me a little bit and made a comment that my hair color was not natural.
Yours is natural. Wow. Nature boy.
It's as natural as they come.
That's what I do. Yeah. There's no just for Meg going on here.
Russ is buying hair dye in the aisle, and he's like, super gray, my color.
Yes.
And he brings up front. He brings up front. The person's like, why would you buy this?
Sir, do you want the platinum blonde? No, I purposely got the super gray.
I like the silver fox.
Yes.
It's a super gray. Actually, this is the opposite of what most people want. I don't know if most people caught that bit.
So that's good. I think my kids they're pretty bright. They're figuring out, that's the right thing. So Rob, rolling, going. How's it going with you?
I'm going to say this. Number one, I got 2 things. Okay. And I'm deadly serious about the second thing. Number one. Okay. I had Russ and his landlord stop by the other day. At
really?
the cabin. They were on their way up.
And she's the landlord, Russell? Okay. I see how this is going now. All right. I get it.
All right. So they stopped by for how long?
The rent is my bone.
What?
I wish. What? Do it the first of the month. Please. I'm on an annuity plan. Rob, in the future, are you going to keep that in? We'll see. That's an interesting question. It was a good joke. Russell is going to try to cut it out. We'll see what happens. Listen, if you heard that joke, folks, it stayed in. Anyway, Russell came to the cabin. We had a great time, actually. Had famous Mr. Pizza from Rochester, Minnesota, the best frozen pizza that has ever been or will ever be. We had that. Russell did not comment on how I cut it because I did cut it party style.
Party cut?
Yeah, I did do a party cut.
Pizza party cutter.
The toughest thing with the party cut,
sexy motherfucker.
Rob was nice enough to make a pizza. But there was kind of like an uncertainty going on with the pizza because Rob had like 15 to 20 family members.
Yeah, was it just one pizza for the whole family?
Yeah, he had like 20 people playing bingo at the time, and they were all having fun. We came in the middle of a bingo game, like
normal stuff.
Rule number 1 of showing up to like someone's house, you don't want to go up and like interrupt while they're playing. They're doing something fun because everyone else who's there is like, what the fuck are these people doing here? We're trying to play bingo. And we didn't interrupt the game. The game kept going just fine.
And Russell, what was the prize for bingo?
Lottery tickets. A great
lottery tickets.
Nice.
You can win twice.
Gambling on top of gambling.
But part of it, Rob did make a pizza. And Rob was going out of his way to tell his 2 daughters, you have to let guests go first.
Oh, my God.
But there was like 15, 20 people there. So there's this pizza and you're like, wait, are there 20 people picking from this pizza? Mm-hmm. Are there 4 people? Are there 6 people? There was kind of an uncertainty. So Aaron, Matt, what would you have done if there's a pizza there and there's 15, 20 people? What do you do?
If I am the new guy, I'm the last one in line.
I picked the 2 smallest quarter ones. It was great pizza, but I did not. What do you do?
Yeah,
what do you do?
I start with 2 slices. And then I stick kind of close to the pizza, and I
party
check
cut
to see
party cut, not slices, squares. So think about that.
So I take 2 pieces.
Okay,
and then I stick close, and I make sure that all of the vulnerable, protected classes get their slice.
Oh,
and then once that's happened, I'm going back for more. Like as soon as the children and anyone
make sure
who
all
can't fend for themselves,
grown adult white males get their.
And you know what, Matt? That's a good point, actually. I've been wanting to talk about this. Okay, because a lot of people lately haven't noticed.
I'm just asking the question. I do like Russell. I start with 2 small pieces, but I stick close because I'm going to give people a chance. But once they've had a chance, I'm going back.
But here's the thing: as a host, right? I want Russell to have Mr. Pizza. It's a Rochester proud frozen pizza. I want him to have as much. And guess what? We're going to make more pizzas. Everyone else, they're going to be fine. Honestly, I've been hanging with these guys for a couple of weeks now. I couldn't care less if they get fed. Not my problem. Starting with my own kids. Like if my own kids were like, I didn't get any pizza. I'd be like, boo-hoo. I don't care.
I do have to ask Rob. Rob went out of his way specifically with one of his kids to say, you have to wait for after the guests. It wasn't both kids. There was one kid that he went out of his way numerous times to say, and his other daughter kind of said, yeah, she is known for like going in and scooping. Well, she'll take everything.
Yeah.
If dad doesn't say so. Rob, is that how your daughters operate? Is one kind of go in and she'll take everything if she can or not?
Russell, you know how when you buy Windex, there's a warning like, don't squirt this in your eyes. And you're like, well, what could this possibly be a warning for? Like who? And then you find out all the warnings are actually lawsuits that they've encountered. Like I assume that was day 1 of law school. You're like, very interesting. That is exactly what was going on because this exact thing has happened multiple times in the last couple of weeks where it's like these kids being in groups are like, they act like they've never eaten before. They act like it's like, I don't know what, Mad Max or something.
Yeah, I got one of those too. Or you're going to run out of food and there's just not going to be enough. It's like, just chill out.
Right.
You'll be fine. See, and to Rosie's point, you take a couple, right? But I usually like to hang back because one, if you don't get any, that's fine. But if you are the last one, you are fair game to grab as much or as little or whatever you want, whatever's left, right? And that's what I try to tell my kids. Like, look, there's plenty of food. Hang back. Don't be the first one. And you'll have plenty. And then you can just have whatever you want. Everybody else has already gone through and just have at it,
I also like some people get very kind of particular about this. Like if I go to like Rob's place and I don't have anything to eat, I'll be fine. Like I've got plenty of stored up cells here in my body to survive the afternoon. If I like, but some people, if they don't have something to eat, they're going to like freak out, right? They're going to be, they're going to get pissed. They're going to get anxious. Like,
who do I know this like that? I can tell you, I definitely wouldn't make a contract to spend the rest of my life with a person like that for sure, who multiple times cries because they're so hungry.
But Rob, you also, it wasn't just a pizza. There was a lot of things going on. There was bingo going on. Rob also allowed me to play his VR set.
Oh my God. I'd forgotten about this.
Oh, did he slip in the porn?
It was a little sweatier. It was a little sweatier than I was hoping for when I put it on.
Don't click on that file folder that says Star Wars games. Don't click on that.
Rob actually had me play a game, and I think I don't know if this was mean or what. I don't know how to take it.
It was so good, guys.
It was essentially a game where you step into an elevator, you go up the elevator, and then there's a plank like out of the Sears Tower, essentially. Like, and I'm terrified of heights.
It was so good.
The other thing, the VR was a lot of fun. The other thing Rob did, maybe I'm jumping on your thing. Rob took us out on a pontoon ride, which was very nice of him to do.
Did you start another podcast?
And I was like, what swimsuit? No, we're going to go swimming. What swimsuit should I wear with Russell and his landlord to be respectful of it? And so, of course, I had to break out the Bear Paw Speedo that I bought in the store.
The Bear Paw.
To which my mom commented this year, where's your penis when you wear it? Because it does get very smooth in the front. Like, I don't get what happens. But it's like a support bra.
Where's your penis?
Here's the thing. It's like a support bra, but backwards. Instead of lifting and showing, it like squishes and hides, which I don't get. It's the only part of my body that looks smooth and flat. So it like really sticks out. It's like a socket. It makes no sense. I don't know what's happening. Not a great. The guy at the gay store really let me down when he sold me that Speedo.
Anything that causes your mom to ask about your penis after age 5 or 6 is like, you need to rethink what you're wearing.
But Russell did get to see me do a sweet Greg Louganis off the boat.
Which the gold medal?
No, perfect
dive. You hit your head on the side of the boat?
Guys, actually a perfect dive. Okay. I looked at the positive stuff about Greg Louganis. Not actually quite a bit of negative things now that I think about it. Can I say this, Russell? Great to have you. Okay. Do you know the one thing my family said about you?
What's that?
When you left? It blew my fucking mind. Russell is so tall. I had 4 people come to me like, Russell is so tall.
You are tall. You are
And
taller.
I said,
what?
no. I'm taller than Russell. And
No, you're
everyone
not,
laughed
Rob.
at
You are
me.
100%. No, I've got glitches on you, Rob.
I was like, Russell is taller than me? I have
Russell's tall.
never in my life
true.
thought Russell is taller than me. I have always considered Russell shorter than me. For people to tell me that Russell is taller than me, it warped. It's literally like coming out of the Matrix. It's crazy. It's like being on the plank with the VR with Russell. It blew my mind.
And Rob, Rob, I mean, you might not even be like 5'9". How tall are you?
Well, I was listed when I played football at 6 foot. Okay. That was with cleats on.
Russell, how tall is your brother compared to you?
My brother is like 6'2". He is taller than I am.
Yeah, your brother is tall.
Okay. But are you over 6 foot? Are you?
I'm 6. I'm on the button.
On the button. Okay.
Guys, have you ever assumed that Russell's the Trevor Winter of our friend group? Has that ever come into your head?
Who's
that's
Trevor
true?
Winter?
Oh,
Who's Trevor?
Who's Trevor Winter? Get out of here, you Iowa sick freak.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. This is who's somebody? Aaron.
Marcus
Who's a big
Pfizer.
Thank you.
Ooh, now
Yeah,
Marcus
thank you.
Pfizer. Marcus Pfizer was the number 2 overall pick. Come on now.
Trevor Winter played for the Timberwolves. You dumb shit. He got his cup of coffee in the league, not just because of Shaq.
He had his chimichanga and a cup of coffee in the league, right?
First of all, great to see Russ. Okay, now gets to the second part, which I'm serious about. I'm going to Arizona from August 5th to the 9th or something, 8th. Russell, can you watch my dog for me?
No way.
I'm going to bring my dog down to your place. No, Russ, excuse me. This is not a joke. I am in need.
No.
I am in need. Excuse me. I am in need of somebody to watch my dog.
No. The answer is no. The answer is no.
No, listen. I just want to tell you, I respect that. Okay. I think it's great to have boundaries. Okay. And on the other hand, it's fucked that you wouldn't help a friend who's in need. Russell.
Take
him
him
to a pizza.
No. Take him to you can take him to Matt's, or you can take him to a pound or whatever that's
Matt's
called.
gonna say no too. A pound?
No way.
Your dog has medical issues. I'm not being responsible when he throws his back out.
He's
the answer
mostly
is
fine now, and
no.
I brought all of his pills if he throws his back out.
This is one of my This is my achievement day. I don't let people bully me into doing bullshit I don't want to do. I cannot watch that dog.
Russell, I'm a friend in need.
Hey, Robin, I'll give you a heads up. I'm probably the more likely of the 2 tenants in my house to say yes to something like that. And you just got a big no.
I don't know. I might have to contact somebody else in the apartment and see what happens.
Do the end around. See how that works out.
So good. When I show up, here's what I promise you guys. When I show up and drop that dog off at Russell's, and he probably doesn't itch all the time now and doesn't cough as much, I'm going to take a picture of Russell's face when he comes out and sees that he is now kind of...
You underestimate.
We're kind of related, Russell. You take care of that dog. We're kind of like...
You underestimate what would probably happen with that dog. I legit I'd put him in spots where you've got to be out of there in 7 days or you don't come back.
Well, first of all, that dog's tall as hell. Okay. It would do just fine. So, okay. So can I just have everybody text into the Beck line? Okay. Is this fucked or is this fine that Russell has said he will not take care of my dog when he knows I'm desperate? So is this, oh no, wrong theme song. Is this fucked or is it fine? Hashtag fucked or hashtag fine. Matt, rolling going. Who's left? Is anybody left? Russell, rolling going. Russell, how is it going with you?
I can. I've got 2 things. We've got the DVD tournament, but I'm going to start with personal. We're going to go to the Russell's Dating Advice Corner.
Oh, advice corner. Okay,
Russell, are you okay?
Feels like Russell's cohabitation corner now.
The cohabitation corner.
I think we moved beyond dating at this point.
You need some landlord advice.
Unless this is about someone else, in which case,
you know what? You can jack off wherever you want, Russell. Doesn't matter. They don't control you. Hey, Russell, if you actually have broken up with this person and you need to move in with somebody, go fuck yourself. You wouldn't even watch my dog.
Rob, does your answer to that change if the couch is made of fabric versus leather or not?
No, actually, it's fine. The fabric's fine. Right. You just got to warm water. Here's the thing, Russell. Why don't you stay in a pound, okay? If you've gotten kicked out, why don't you go sit in a pound somewhere? Russell, we will give you advice.
Oh, the advice I was going to ask is, I'm curious how, I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. One of the big push and pulls in the house that I'm living in now relates to the thermostat. I was curious, how do you guys handle the thermostat in your house? Like, do you have an agreed upon temperature? Does it go up and down? Is it on a timer that is constantly set? Matt, do you just go change what you want? How does it work?
Sarah sets it.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
That's how we figure it out. I love the days that Sarah is like out with friends or something like that, and it's like a nice night. Like I open those windows up, and everything's coming. I'll sleep in like 52-degree weather if I can, things like that with the air blowing in. And by the time Sarah comes, the windows are shut. It's just how it is, Russell.
Yeah. Oh, Russell, let me tell you what I do. I definitely take control and let her do whatever she wants. Okay. What are you not? Aaron, who controls the temperature of your place?
I think it's me, actually.
Shut up. If you say I think it's me, it's not you. I think it's me, actually, who's in charge.
I mean, it's not as...
I'm going to pass out. Oh, my God.
I mean, I think our thing is just set to like drop down to 67 at night, and then it's like 70 during the day or whatever. Like, it's not as an extreme shift for us. But yeah, I mean, I think we do it together, kind of. I mean, you asked. I mean, you're talking about.
I did not ask. I did not ask the temperatures. 67 to 70. That's the most two boring temperatures.
I think I created the temperature program, but we do check in about whether it's comfortable for both of us or not.
Insane flex from Aaron.
So Matt, like Matt's talking about like when it gets cool out, he can just open the windows. Like I get that, but like, when it's really hot, Matt, like. Does your temperature sit at like 76 inside and you're just good with it? Or how does that go?
76.
71, 72.
76.
Yeah. I'd have it down to 69 if I could, but
nice.
71, 72.
Hey, guys, check out this number where I've been looking at it recently.
Yeah.
The number is 64.
Oh, whoa. You set your AC. Oh my God.
Iceman coming.
You're the reason we don't have an ozone. Jesus.
Russell, 64. Okay. So this is actually going to be a pretty good lesson, Russell, on what it's going to be like to be living with somebody who you also would like to like you. You are going to have to compromise. 64 is way too low.
That is cold.
Did you notice how we all laughed at that number when you said it? That is way too low. And also to Russell's roommate, 76, way too high. I would have had 100 guesses. I would not have guessed your temperature set to 76. So let's see, 64 to 76. Matt, the average is
71. No.
The average is 70, what it's going
to I say that because that's what it's going to settle in. It's going to be 71, 72.
But what happens, guys, if the building you live in doesn't really cool down in the upstairs? The only way to get it cool is you got to freeze out the bottom levels. What do you guys think?
Do you freeze it out? Do you put the fan on then so that it runs through the house continuously?
Oh my God.
So it pulls it up there?
I don't know. This feels like you need some better passive cooling, or you might need some different kind of airflow.
You got to check those vents. Which one's open? Which one's closed?
Russell,
you got to get some better airflow.
You got to start plugging up some of them with some cardboard and stuff so that you're messing with how that everything's flowing.
You're sleeping with too many clothes on, Russell. That's the problem here. Come on.
I mean, if it's 64 and you're trying to get her to sleep with no clothes on, I don't know. Good luck.
No, good luck. Forget that.
Listen, at least I'm not watching a dog this weekend.
First of all, it's next weekend, and I'm actually serious. Okay,
so now we got to get to the DVD tournament. Rob, you've done a great job getting Matt's parody songs done.
Yeah.
So I figured you could give us an update on how the listener vote went on the DVD tournament from last week. You were going to set that up on Instagram.
You know what, you son of a bitch? I did run it. And you just reminded me, and I totally forgot until you said that. And because I did it while I was editing it, and I was like, I should just do this now, and then I'll rerun it, which of course I didn't do. But let's look at the results, shall we?
I thought for sure he wouldn't have done that.
Oh, Russell, you dumb piece of shit. Of course I did it. Let's see what's going on. Okay, now first of all, I have to find the Beck did it better, and then I have to see what to do here. Okay, so I think I might not have posted it like I thought I did. Maybe that was it.
Well, maybe what we could do is go to the regional, the next 4 matchups. Right?
I think that's good, and I will figure this out, Russell. And I will set it up this time for sure.
All right, we're doing action tonight. We're down to 8 in the action regional. As you guys know, the 16 seeds advanced in all regionals. The first matchup is the 16 seed Young Guns versus the 8 seed. It's a combo pack: Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 2, and Karate Kid 3.
Oh.
What's your vote?
We watched Karate Kid 1 last night, and we were about 30 minutes into Karate Kid 2 after getting up to the cabin tonight. Definitely the Karate Kid 3-pack is my vote.
But you got to admit, the end of Karate Kid 1 is fucked, right, Matt? Where it's just show goes to Mr. Miyagi and he just goes, and then it ends, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
That's
it just cuts off.
It's
it just
crazy.
Drops, yeah.
But it also too doesn't. It's a great movie trick. Doesn't 2 start with the end of 1?
Yes.
It's like a recap of 1.
Yeah,
so it goes through all of his wax on, wax off, and sand, and then when he was on the boat and all the crane kick, and then to the final. Yeah, I mean it's like a 5-minute montage of the first movie just to catch you up in case you missed it.
Do your kids like Karate Kid?
Yeah, yep. And then they're both in karate, so all of a sudden now they want to practice all their karate moves. All of a sudden, it's been 4 years and they've never wanted to practice, but now they watch Karate Kid. Now they want to do it.
Okay, Russell, update. I've got an update for you. I did make it, and people did vote.
They did vote.
Yes. Okay. So what do we want to do? Should we do that after?
I saw it for sure. Like I definitely saw that it was out there.
Did you vote, Aaron?
No.
Well, the problem is
I'm going to vote on the show. I can't vote on the Instagram if I'm voting on the show.
I got a lot of stuff about stolen elections lately. I'll actually talk to you guys about this later, but it's really interesting.
What should we keep going through? We'll do the vote.
Let's do it after. I don't know why I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
All right. So Matt voted Karate Kid. Aaron, Rob, you got to vote Karate Kids versus Young Guns.
Karate Kid, of course.
Karate Kids.
3 is up.
Yeah.
The next matchup is the 4-5. I think this is a pretty good. This is a pretty intriguing matchup. The 4 seed Fight Club versus the 5 seed Gladiator.
Wow.
Jeez.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Impossible.
I gotta say Gladiator. I know people think Gladiator's not as good as everybody thinks, but
I will have my vengeance in this.
I gotta go Gladiator too, man.
I'll go Gladiator as well.
Yeah.
Fight Club's pretty good.
Sweet.
I'm with Gladiator too, man.
It's out. Yeah. It's out next round though. As soon as it hits something,
there has to be some said for people our age. Gladiator was like in the peak of. It probably came out when we were about like 20, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you're like a 43-year-old male, Gladiator was in the prime of your loving that type of movie, right?
The Fight Club was too. Like Fight Club was like, whoa, this is blowing my mind. It's like not real. It's in his head, but still, I gotta go with Gladiator.
Oh, spoiler!
I know. Second week in a row. I know.
Okay, and I was just about to watch Usual Suspects, so don't say anything about that movie.
Don't worry, I'm not watching that one. Too much yelling.
All right, the next matchup. The next matchup is some older movies. Those ones were right in our prime. This is the number 3 seed, Enter the Dragon, versus the number 6 seed, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Man, Jesus, old man DVDs.
I think was it just Bruce Lee's birthday or the anniversary of his death? I can't remember. I think it was one of the.
We don't celebrate. Hey, we don't celebrate that stuff on this podcast.
It's achievement. Yeah. I would say I gotta say, Good, Bad, the Ugly. Too slow. Give me Bruce Lee. I'll take Bruce Lee.
I don't really know either. I'll go with Rob there.
Thank you.
I'm sticking with Rob too. Like Kung Fu is exciting.
All right, the next matchup is the 10-2. We have a combo pack: Kill Bill 1 and 2 versus Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh my God! Oh no! I'm gonna take Kill Bill. Those are the ones I would rewatch, but fuck.
I think you gotta say Kill Bill because if you just have one Star Wars, kind of psycho shit, right? If you just have one, like that's weird. Kill Bill.
That's the best one though. Empire Strikes Back is the best one by far.
Yeah, but I like number 1 with the pod racing. Oh my God!
No, don't.
Okay, Matt,
I love it.
Vote.
I would abstain from voting on this one, but I'll just go with the Emperor Strikes Back.
So, Rob, you said Kill Bill or no?
Yeah, I said Kill Bill.
Wow, so Kill Bill, according to you guys, thank God we have a listener vote. We'll see if the listeners can get Star Wars.
And it'll be set up because I said the last one I found out earlier.
What?
All right. Well, that's the DVD tournament for the week. Rob, rolling going. How's it going with you?
Hey, did you hear? Wow. Did you hear how that music dropped perfectly?
I know.
That was perfectly planned out, Russell. Good work.
Nice job, Russell.
Wait,
in the biz we call that hitting the post. Nice job.
Didn't
the
Rob
post, Russell.
already
Nice work.
rolling his going?
Yeah,
actually, Rob, I believe they call it that stroke in the post.
Oh, yeah. Whipping post. Now listen, okay. Yeah, Aaron, actually my rolling going was Russell telling a bunch of stories about my cabin, and that's fine.
Yeah, I
okay.
know.
And the other part
That's
was
all
him
good.
again saying that my dog should die in the street.
You're the one who chose to transfer the dog from New York to Minnesota.
Oh, I can't bring the dog to Arizona. He's going to get cooked like a little piece of sausage out there. It is too hot. By the way,
What the hell are you doing in Arizona anyway?
Yeah.
My kid. Think about how crazy. I mean, it's just a parent. You're like, I don't want my kids to end up like me, right? But yet, oh shit, wrong one. My kid is going to nationals, powerlifting nationals, and she's competing there. And it might surprise you guys. I can almost guarantee she's going to be a national champ. Guess why? I'll give you one.
She's
guess.
the only one in her weight class.
She's the only one in her class. Aaron, talk about my kids' weight. It's the only one in my kids' class. And also, I checked my nationals. There's one other guy in my weight class. So she and I, national champions, back to back, baby.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
So
it.
that's why I'm going to Arizona. Okay, I'm going to Arizona.
That's a great achievement.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
will be. Yeah,
Can't wait to celebrate that.
a dad of a national champ. That's one thing my wife could never do. All right, so let's get into this album.
Oh, is this a music podcast?
Yes,
90
we're
minutes
talking-
in. Why not? It's a good time
actually,
to start
can I just say
talking about
this,
the music.
Russell, just to back up a little bit?
Yeah.
What about Bob? 55% over Kingpin. Okay, what
I
about
don't know
Bob?
I had that one.
I don't know how that's. I mean, what about Bob does advance?
Oh,
then?
well,
'Cause you
Russell,
guys-
you know what? It's kind of fucked that you thought I wouldn't be prepared. Yet, when I am prepared, you're not prepared. So, reversal.
Well, let's keep going then.
Okay, next one. Dumb and Dumber win, so
Wait, I
57%.
thought this was a music podcast.
Okay. Uncle Buck Great Outdoors Combo Pack wins 64%. I think that's what we picked. Wayne's World 81%. Oh brother, where art thou? Okay.
No.
Big
Oh, brother.
big.
I think I was 4
winner.
for 4 on that one.
I think
So
you
what
were,
about
man.
Bob, Dumb and Dumber, Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, Wayne's World, all advanced?
There
Unanimous.
you go.
Right?
Thank you.
What even is happening?
Wait, you know what's crazy though? That's like 64%. Is that like 10 responses? How many responses?
I
is
don't
that?
know. You're right. Because if it was like 10 people, it would be like 20%. Russell, I think we have a lot of fans out there who want to interact with us on social media. And I've got a lot of views I actually want to tell them about. So I'm going to start posting some stuff that they're actually going to learn from. Okay. Talk about Amazing Grace by Aretha Franklin. This album is a live album recorded in Watts, Los Angeles in 72 with the Southern California Community Choir. This album won the Grammy for Best Soul Gospel. She was actually nominated twice for 2 different songs on this album and won. Can you imagine going against Aretha live for Best Gospel Album or Best Gospel Song? You'd be like, okay, well, that's goodbye. I'm not even going to show up. And basically, this is really interesting because Warner Brothers Records and movies had merged right before this. And they said, you know what's a great idea? We should make an album and a movie and sell both. Okay. And a kind of synergy that He-Man could only dream of. And so they sent, and basically this executive had lunch with Sidney Pollack, who had directed Out of Africa and would go on to direct Tootsie. And he said, yeah, I can come in and direct this. And people were like, well, directing like live music is really a skill. So be careful. He shows up and he doesn't bring one item. Okay. Now, what would be one item that if you're recording something with a ton of sound, and some would say actually the most important thing is the sound. What's one thing beside the microphone that you would want to bring? How about that clapboard that synchronizes? It's literally the clap at the beginning of the show. He didn't bring any. So he recorded this whole Aretha Franklin concert 2 nights. Sidney Pollack could not make the film because he couldn't synchronize the sound in the video. And he actually,
that's crazy.
And the thing was, in 1970, they were going music documentary crazy. In 70 alone, you have Woodstock, Gimme Shelter, and Elvis's That's the Way It Is. And if you watch this movie, if you watch the movie to see who's there when Aretha's recording this album, it's interesting because in the background, you see members of the Rolling Stones, and they were just on their way to record Exile on Main Street, which of course we talked about was influenced by American gospel music. So there's no doubt this was right in the forefront of their mind when they're recording that. The guy named Alan Elliott actually mortgaged his house to buy the negatives to this movie, synchronize the sound, got it together in 2011, was going to release it at Telluride at a film festival, and Aretha sued him to get him to not show it. And they looked for all the contracts that they signed, and they could find everybody's but one. And that was Aretha's. And Aretha said, I like the movie.
In her purse with her 9.
Aretha liked the movie, she said. She just wanted to, I think she ended up wanting to get paid more. She passed away in 2018. 3 months later, with the blessing of her family, the movie came out. And so this is Aretha Franklin's number one
How do you
highest
feel
selling
about that? Like if Rob, like if there was someone this podcast and you were like, I don't want, let's say the Radiohead episode that I don't ever want to come out.
Right.
If I clearly tell my family I don't want this to ever come out, and I kick the bucket, and 3 months later they're like, yeah, put it out. What do you think of that?
It's coming out.
I got to admit, Russell, funny move by my family to just do the one thing where I was like, please do not do this.
Rob's got his finger over the button on that one. Like the day your obituary is published, that thing's going out.
If it makes one person laugh, Russell, I'll do it because you're dead. Like I'm dead. Who cares what people think of me? I couldn't care less.
Russell, let's just say it went to, how many nieces and nephews do you have? 3, 4, 3? You have 4. Each of them get $250,000, get college paid for free if that thing gets released.
Well, she could have released it and made that choice earlier.
Russell,
no, you're saying about you. You don't want the Radiohead coming out, and so maybe the price isn't right. Maybe they say $50,000 at first, and they say nope, that's not good. But how about $250,000?
Yes,
she was probably the kids probably whatever, they don't care, just add it to the estate or whatever. They just want to see their mom singing.
Yeah,
back in the 70s.
Old bag. Give me the money.
So. But I don't know if it's fair to say, and I've not read all of the stuff that Rob has read. I don't know that it's fair to say that Aretha was holding out for more money. I think this is a big deal for her to go back to gospel after she was secular, and her dad talks about it in the interlude later in the album. This is a different Aretha than we hear on other records.
Okay,
and this was a very important thing to her to be singing in a church. And so probably by 2011, she felt like the album had sold how many copies. It was a moment that happened in time. She didn't need that out there any further because this was a big deal. And she really didn't want to stand above what her faith was. Go ahead, Matt.
And if you watch the movie, like it's a completely different Aretha Franklin than what I remember, like from her in like the 90s and 2000s, like this powerful singer who's just commands the stage. Like she is essentially, I don't know. I mean, she's up there singing, but she's very meek and timid. And
I was kind of shocked.
Yeah. So it's a completely different Aretha. So I can see where maybe she thought that this was something completely different. And then as she got older and kind of took more command of everything, or just, came out of, I don't even know what coming out of the shell's the right word or whatever it is, was more confident, whatever it was. Maybe she just looks back on that. And to your point, this was very personal. This is very deep. And I want to control, maybe she wanted to control the narrative of the movie as opposed to some guy who just mortgaged his house for it. I don't know.
But the faith aspect of this and the division between secular and gospel, especially among black musicians, cannot be overstated. This was a big fucking deal for her to be able to make a gospel record after she had gone pop. This was a big deal, and she took that very seriously.
Ended up being her best-selling record, so let's get into it. We start with Mary, Don't You Weep. I got to say, guys, picking time cues this week, hard. I try to pick here where she really gets in, the first time she comes in.
Yeah, because it's not intended to be an album where you can pick out highlights. This was really a meditation and a celebration between her and God, right?
Not many guitar solos.
Not that different from Love Supreme. Yeah, and the players are kind of toning things down too.
And I will say, having the choir is awesome. I mean, watching the choir is unbelievable.
That's so
yeah. I tried to watch this movie again today. Ran out of time a little bit, but when I put it on, multiple people came around and sat down because they were like, oh, this is just interesting thing to watch. I highly recommend people watch it. Now, Aaron has talked about Prince's also posthumous album, kind of, Piano on a Microphone, which actually opened with the same song, Mary, Don't You Weep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is fun. I've heard this a bunch.
Ooh.
And this also, he didn't want to see the light of day, but his family released it after he died.
They got Rochester Mr. Pizzas to buy. You got to sell those records.
Somebody's got to feed Russell.
You can't have the whole family eat one pizza.
Well, if somebody didn't take 2 of the big pieces, we could have had more. Precious Lord, Take My Hand. This was Martin Luther King's favorite song. It was sung at his funeral.
Oh, right. Yeah, he would. And this is the only one.
I do think this album is much more listenable than the movie is.
Yeah,
it's the movie. The album definitely picked out the highlights.
Yeah. There's a lot of interludes. There's a lot of the pastor, reverend talk and things like that.
And Matt, I know you said this before in the podcast. It's not fun watching those interludes because you feel like Aretha is being almost disrespected with the way people are crowing for attention.
I remember us talking about that. We watched it probably. When did we watch that? What was it? What was the album we watched? What was the first Aretha album we did?
Never Loved a Man the Way I Loved You.
Yeah, we all watched that probably 2 years ago.
Jeez, God, we're old as
That's
shit.
that second track too, because this is Bernard Pretty Purdy on drums, right? So but we don't get any Purdy shuffle on here, right? He is keeping it close to the chest. Like that second track, that to me is as close as we get to Bernard letting go, because he also is keeping things down because for them, this was about worship. It was about praise. They weren't trying to take precedence over the message of the music they were delivering.
Old Landmark.
Oh, this is a killer for me.
Well, Russell,
I believe James Brown does this in the Blues Brothers, right? Or Rob, am I in trouble?
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
I will say, this is what you think of when you think of gospel, right? And like Russell alluded to, I was like, why does this hit a chord with me where I really want to get down to it? And sure enough, like Russell said, this is the Blues Brothers with James Brown. I got to listen to this right here.
The keys there is just amazing. I
love it. Give yourself to Jesus.
How do you guys look at this? Do you look at this like a greatest hits or a compilation, or how do you look at live albums? We've talked about not thinking greatest hits should be on the list. How does this rank in there?
Listen. This is Aretha's best.
To let Aaron sing, but
it's Aretha's best-selling album. I just don't know. Does anybody think of this when they think of Aretha? I mean, it's unbelievable and it's special.
I play this.
I'm going to think of it from now on.
I play this more Sundays than I don't play it. So for me, it's and I don't know. I'm probably not. Well, whatever. I don't go to church. I grew up in the church, but I play this a lot on Sundays. To me, it's a church service. It's a worship. It's this one and Love Supreme to me, and maybe some of Pharoah Sanders' stuff like Karma and The Creator Has a Master Plan. Like, to me, this is worship music. It's praise music. It's meant to be enjoyed and not meant to be discussed in a greatest albums, discussion. So that's what it is for me.
Aaron, and I'm going to say at my house on Sunday, we play this.
Don't eat meat,
but you sure like the bone.
I mean, a perfect Sunday to me is this one in the morning, and then play some Al Green in the afternoon or the evening. That's the perfect Sunday to me.
Finally,
I also got to say, I'm going to tell this story because I'm going to continue being not funny. This album makes me think so much of my grandfathers because eventually we're going to get to What a Friend We Have in Jesus. I sang What a Friend We Have in Jesus at my grandmother's funeral. I did not sing it in the style of Aretha or as well as Aretha, but I sang What a Friend We Have in Jesus at my paternal grandma's funeral, and my paternal grandpa was there. That was his selection. And then God Will Take Care of You, my maternal grandfather, I can remember sitting next to him in church and him singing that one, and he could not carry a tune, but he sang the hell out of it. So for me, this music is so personal, so spiritual, and so wonderful to listen to. That's what it is for me. But I don't think of it as an album. I don't think the sound quality is good enough. I don't think even the sequencing is they took it out of order from the actual concert. I mean, it's all,
But Aaron, I got to say, one of the things about this podcast, Aaron, one of this thing about, go ahead, Russ.
Rob, did you get an invite to any of those events?
Oh,
to go to church with my grandma.
Sorry, I know that's a bad joke. I couldn't help myself.
That's a funny joke. That joke was so good. It should not have been followed by my joke. Shit,
that's such a good joke.
That joke is a perfect closer.
Aaron, I apologize. That was rude.
Well, no, and I think, but I think it's fun because this podcast is a place where we can, delve into like our lives and things we think about. And music is so powerful and evokes those things. And that's why I'm happy to say that this week, Cole's Resort is sponsoring Aaron's Grandma Corner.
It's time for one-on-one with Aaron's mom.
Grandmas.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Coles, for sponsoring that. I wish I would have been able to fit it in maybe somewhere else, but I think that's going to be fine.
Aaron, do you get to choose songs when you sing at a funeral, or how does that work? I've never
chooses the songs.
No,
I don't know. Who chooses? Someone's got to choose.
Yeah, I mean,
Aaron's like, Aaron's like, hey, hey, we're in the church for this funeral. Can everybody open up to Psalm? Yes.
Great. No, when my grandma passed, my grandpa, who was still living at the time, chose "What a Friend We Have in Jesus."
What an honor.
And and then other times, like the couple times I like sang at funerals for like money, it was like the
you got paid.
The deceased
got paid for a funeral.
Like, oh my god,
disgusting.
Like at a church, they'll be like, "Oh, we need someone to come in and sing." You get like $50 or $75.
Do they tip you?
Did you go around with a plate as you were singing at the funeral, Aaron? Because you should not be doing that.
So then the family of the deceased chooses a song that means something to them. No, you don't, as a singer, you don't come in and say like, "Hey, I'd like to do this number. I got a little number I wrote for this one. Maybe you guys want to hear it."
Do you guys like Blues Traveler?
See if you can spot this one. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it. Here it goes.
Yeah, guys,
that is a pretty cool honor, though. For you to get singing at a funeral like that is a pretty cool moment, Aaron.
Yeah, I've had some good moments.
Aaron's like, do you guys like Pitbull?
Mr. Worldwide to infinity.
Set the world on fire. All right. Let's see. So now that Aaron's stories, which
sorry, now that I took over the whole podcast with my not
no,
funny
that's
stories,
fine, Aaron.
Let's get back to telling jokes.
You know what? Next week I'm going to talk about my grandmothers and how they passed away. So it's going to be a great time.
This one is my brother's favorite. So this whole thing is like it's really
how I got over. This one actually won a Grammy for Mahalia Jackson in '76.
Not this recording.
No. Yeah, she turned it in and was like, hey, I like this. I should do a podcast where I review this. And everybody be like, that's the dumbest idea ever. Nobody will vote on those Instagram polls. Oh, so good. Next up, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Listen to this note she hits. Jesus.
And this is the stuff that doesn't make it to recording on the stuff that was pop. The same with Sam Cooke. Like when they're live doing gospel, you hear them do different stuff.
It feels, this is one of the things I was going to say for my final ranking, but it feels kind of like stripped down. It's just like, here's the talent, like this amazing singer, this amazing sound. We're not going to screw around with it with all this technology. It just is what it is. And it's, I don't see how you could turn this off. I'm not a religious person. I'm not a huge gospel fan or anything, but damn, this is so good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Next up, now you guys know, though, if I find a cover by one person, I will always play it. So here's Ike and Tina, What a Friend We Have in Jesus.
Oh, wow.
They have a whole record where they do gospel, but it's like this. It's crazy. I'm telling you.
That's pretty fun.
Should we just go live in the woods and buy Tina Turner records and just listen to them?
Yep. We should.
Oh, my God. So good. Amazing Grace. Guys, now this, Aaron, she's singing this in church, but what would we call this? Okay.
I mean, it can't be anything but a titular track.
It's a titular track, Aaron. It's church. Come on. This was written. Amazing Grace was written by a guy named John Newton. Okay. And he didn't live by Aaron, or he would have invented something else. But he was actually a big guy who was into slaves. He was a slaver, which is a weird twist, but he was going across the Atlantic, and the captain said, nobody has ever sworn in ways like you, John Newton. You make up words I've never heard. You're a terrible person. He survives a storm, says, by the grace of God, save me, writes this song, later becomes a clergyman and huge abolitionist, coming swinging back around. And this song was recorded in Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin with extra verses that they added in the book. Look at the Wikipedia for Amazing Grace sometime. It's a wild story.
I'm not following any of that, but it sounds incredible.
This song has to be kind of like one of the.
It might be too high.
Matt talks about perfect songs. I don't know if it has to be a perfect song. I don't know if it goes on Matt's 100 list of perfect songs or whatever, but this is such like a seminal moment of Arts doing the podcast, like the greatest singer ever, or one of the 2 or 3 without question singing this song. Like, this is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You can sit on your couch, close your eyes, listen to all 12 minutes of this. It is worth doing.
Yes.
The only thing I don't get is I didn't hear the part of the beginning where is it Jim McMahon? No, that's the quarterback, right? Vince McMahon. Jim McMahon comes out. He takes off his shades. Everybody's like, what? I've never seen that before. Vince McMahon comes out and goes, Aretha Franklin. Look it up. It's so good. Now, listen. Next up, Precious Memories. This is the other song nominated for the Grammys that year.
And this is Matt's least favorite part, right? This is when Reverend Cleveland comes out and starts talking, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Although he's a gospel hero as well.
He's the king of gospel, right? Is what they call him. Like he's
got an incredible voice, man. And I think this was his church, right?
Yeah, well, it's his choir. He's the one who started that choir. I did find a cover of that by Dolly Parton that I thought was so good.
Well, I'm excited for this.
Should we be just buying Tina Turner and Dolly Parton albums and living in the woods?
What else are we doing?
And not wearing pants?
Why are we talking about anything else?
Now, if you notice that Dolly Parton version was not live, okay? But this album is live, and that leads me to think about, what could we maybe think about and I know, listen, the episode's going long. Who would have thought? Second time in a row. We're so hot. We're so hot in the bathroom. But I came up with a list of the top-selling live albums ever. Yes. Now, Aaron, do you have a guess? What is the top-selling live album?
Is it Peter Frampton?
See, now this is tough because when they judge album sales, if it's a double album like Aretha Franklin's, it counts as 2 for every one sold.
Oh.
So one of the reasons this is Aretha's best-selling album is that it's a double. So one of the most popular live albums with the best-selling is Bruce Springsteen's 5-record box set is 13 times platinum because he sold 2.5 million, but they multiply that by 5.
What?
Yes, I'm telling you.
You can't buy one of the 5. You buy the whole thing. I don't know. That's
weird. Take it up with the RIAA.
Physical record?
Yeah. I'm just telling you guys.
I'm gonna hang up this phone right now. I'm gonna take it up with the RIAA. You guys are gonna have to wait.
Is that Woodstock album considered a live album?
It is a live album. But here's the thing. To look at the best-selling live albums all the time, you would have to go into a list, multiply it by the number of albums, and do a ton of work. So instead, I am counting down the best-selling live albums of all time, and I'm going to start with number 1.
Hey, Rob, of course, best-selling live album, Lightning Crashes in an Old Mother Who Dies. Did I?
The Placenta album. It's the Placenta album.
Oh my God, he wrecked the joke.
In 1994,
he fucking took a
Jerry Harrison from the Talking Heads produced an album in Minnesota at Cannon Falls. This album ended up selling 9.7 million. It went to number 1 on the Billboard 200. This is the best-selling
You can't
live album of all time.
I had this one on CD before my landlord made me throw out my CDs.
I'm not going to lie. I listened to this song, and it kind of was a jam.
Speaking of interrupting people, while I was on a pontoon with Rob this weekend, I was talking with Rob's lovely wife. She was telling me a story about their trip to Turkey. And Rob was going to tell a story about this trip, and his wife jumped in and kind of like stole the punchline, and Rob just stared at her like she had refused to babysit his dog. He was so pissed when she stole his story. Rob, you were not happy.
Listen, it's great.
Bogarted the end of your
It's
story.
great, but she won't just tell my story. She will tell the last line of my story. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she will do the bit at the end, and I'm just like, I'm like, what? And I was like, well, I went to get a haircut, and she's like, he got ripped off. And I'm like, what? I had a 5-minute story ready for that, which you guys will hear at some point with pictures. Next up. So yes, Russell, my life is a nightmare, if that's what you're wondering.
I didn't know you were going the lightning crashes route.
Okay, and I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Here's the thing. Next up, Russell, the second best selling live album. Okay, you're thinking Eric Clapton Unplugged. What was it going to be? It's actually Secret Samadhi. Okay, it's the 4th album from Live. And this is from 1997, 2.4. So this is after Throwing Copper. 2.4 million. Here's Lakini's Juice.
Aaron's choking.
Now,
Live had more than one album. I didn't know this.
Lakini's Juice got up to like number 1 on the Billboard Top 100.
Okay. All right.
I remember who's the lead
song.
singer for this band, man? I feel like you got to know this.
Oh, I don't.
I can his name is Ed. Wasn't his name Ed?
It's Ed's like Zuparias or something.
You can't have a lead singer named Ed of a band, can you?
I can't think of another one. You're totally right. Well, Eddie Van Halen, he wasn't a...
When like you see
can't
like
think of one other Ed. You cannot think of one other Ed that's the head lead singer of a band.
Ed. Who
I can't
could it be?
when you get an invite, like you see on at the college dorm, hey, we've got a new band. Call like 1-800-BECK for the number. Ask for Ed. You're screwed.
Yeah, it's true.
The 4 members of Live are Ed, Patrick, Chad, and Chad.
Oh my God. They're from the suburbs. Hey, we're from
What a bunch
Lakeville.
of Chads.
They are the suburbs.
Man. Next up. So that album, by the way, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. The album. This album, the next 1999. Okay. This is their 4th studio album, The Distance from Here, The Dolphins Cry. So this is 2 albums after Throwing Copper. And surprise, surprise, the sales went down to 1.4. So we've gone 9.7 million, 2.4 to 1.4. This got all the way up to 78th on the Billboard 100. The album got up to number 4 though, but it was number 1 in Iceland. Something to think about. Okay, if you're eating those reindeer. And next up, okay, Mental Jewelry. I think we all remember the album Mental Jewelry. This is from 1991. This is prior to them being live. This is the 4th best-selling live album of all time, Mental Jewelry. And that sold 1 million, mostly after they became famous, Throwing Copper. And finally, this is Simple Creed. It's the 5th best-selling live album ever.
Wait, there's an album called Simple Creed, but it's
Live
not by
has
the
an album
band
called
Creed?
Simple Creed? That seems crazy.
Live has a song called Simple Creed.
This is not good.
And this is off an album called Five.
Me higher.
This is Live 5. And the song is Simple Creed, but the 5 is just a V. So it's Live V, Simple Creed. This is a song where they were putting together songs that they were going to give away for free to their fans. And the record company was like, no, we're going to put it as an album. And they were like, shit. And they did. It sold. So we went from 1 million. This one, their 5th best album, sold 147,000. Did not even make
They're
gold.
still selling some albums, but like,
I mean, right? That's more albums than we have listeners tonight.
do you think you think Ed was sitting around at the campfire with his buddies today, and they're like, "Hey, Ed, what's your achievement?" You're like, "Hey, we broke 140,000 with Simple Creed."
I would say that I simply have the best-selling live album of all time, which is what that list was about. Okay, and there's going to be some editing there, which actually makes it sound pretty cool.
Impressive list drop.
Pretty cool.
Hey,
Live is playing live tomorrow night in Brantford, Ontario.
Wow.
At the Crew Fest 2023. Live, Our Lady Peace. I know I've heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
And Headstones. Never heard of Headstones.
Rob, I'm sorry I stomped on your joke. I didn't know that's what was happening.
Oh, God, that's so perfect.
Russell, there's one way you can make it up to me, okay? And you'll never guess what that one way is.
Hey,
Watch my dog. Come on, Russell, do it.
there will be one other thing that's not live either after if you ask me to do that.
I knew I should have done the song I Alone Love You, by the way. That would have been a twist off of Throwing Copper.
I'd let that dog see if he can get rid of the beehive next to my house.
Oh, no.
That's still
Russell.
There.
Joey can't even, he has trouble walking. You know that. Climbing higher mountains.
You can't leave a dog that's got physical problems with other people.
Give that a B+.
Eddie Wilson of Eddie and the Cruisers. Ed Sheeran.
Oh, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Kowalski. There's so many Eds, guys.
Ed Kowalski. Remarks, I'm going to skip that one. God will take care of you.
So this is that weird sequence thing.
Yeah.
Weird sequencing thing. They already did God will take care of you. They're bringing it
Ed
back.
Roland of Collective Soul.
Is Collective Soul different from live?
Yeah.
Collective Soul is like, we're going to make a song where every once in a while I go,
Some nice guitar work on this one. Who's playing guitar on this record?
What?
Who's playing guitar on this record? It's nice.
Somebody good, I bet.
I bet, yeah.
Cornell Dupree.
Okay.
Just like when I used to buy my donuts at the church. Holy.
This is fun, right? Because this is from this is from What's Going On. So she's really bringing the street to the church to the street. She's bringing together the popular with the secular. Like, this is a fucking cool moment.
And back then, there were only 3 non-blondes. What's going on? I mean,
what?
Aaron, I wake up in the morning. Here's the thing about my day. I wake up in the morning. I step outside. I take a deep breath. And who knows what the rest is.
You're already there. Once again, no Purdy shuffle. He's keeping it straight. And this is so cool, right? She's doing a Marvin Gaye song in church because she can. Some harp in there. Wonderful.
She's like, it's between this and sexual healing. What am I going to sing? What's it going to be? You'll never walk alone.
Matt's got something to say.
I'm going to go contrarian. I'm going to say, this holy, like an Amazing Grace, like they're just too slow for me. These are the ones.
Fair points.
And I love the upbeat gospel, but these ones, it's like they drag. I don't know. It's hard for me to listen to.
And they kind of, each of them hits pauses in the song, right? Like you think the song might be over and you're waiting a while and then it's still going. I hear what you're saying.
It's good, true background music. Like if you're not listening to it, it got a little repetitive. Like I was kind of like, what song is this? What song is this? I'm not as well versed as Aaron is in the music. Maybe that would help. But now this song is also funny to be putting on a gospel album, right? This is literally from Carousel by Hammerstein. Right. Okay, which is, of course,
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Related to, Rodgers and Rammstein earlier, where they were like, Rodgers and Rammstein. A lot of hands on faces when I told that joke. Bummer to see that from my co-host, supposed to be supporting me.
Aretha had to learn German to get through it.
Her doing Du Hast, that would be so good.
Oh, no.
So, in this play... Listen to this. The cousin of the protagonist stabs himself with a knife.
Oh, God. Don't do the...
Well, trying to run away.
Don't do the plot of Carousel.
And then comes back in the final scene and as a ghost motivates Luis and Julie to join the singing.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Russell date to me, honestly. Like going to see that play and being like, I don't know what this is about. This guy stabbed himself and then he was a ghost. Don't know.
I shouldn't say this, but I kind of enjoy Elvis's recording of You'll Never Walk Alone better.
It's big.
He's got to work harder to make it happen.
It's so good.
It's so easy for Aretha. Like, I like hearing Elvis struggle with it.
Yeah. Well, and it's a shame that Aretha copied a lot of Elvis's music.
I knew I shouldn't have introduced this idea.
I love the song you got going on, baby. Gotta take it real quick.
It's fun how easy it is for her, though. Like, oh, sure, I'll do a Broadway tune. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. Next up, Never Grow Old. I gotta say, I would like them to end on a little upbeat here, but what are you gonna do?
Well, that's what's weird is that if you listen to the complete recordings, they took all this stuff way out of order. We don't have to get into that.
Sounds like the ice cream machine at McDonald's. All right, let's get into the rating system.
And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the show. The patented and very popular Beck Did It Better rating system. Oh, yeah.
Listen, we are looking at 154 on the list. We're moving, guys. We're moving right through. And we want to know, is Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace belong in this spot? Okay, if it belongs here, okay, it's a lot like the famous album Secret Samadhi, which of course had the single Lakini's Juice, okay? Just a perfect album right there. Maybe it would sell about 2.4 million, just like the second best-selling live album of all time. Is this album a rolling bone? It should have been higher up on the list, okay? It should have been up there. It should have gotten so many sales, up with Throwing Copper, okay? Which is, thanks for not stepping on it this time, Russ. Or is this kind of like Live V? Okay, it's rolling, grown. Not many people have seen it. Okay, in fact, I would say if the number of people who saw it formed a town, it would barely be a town. So that's something to think about. That it would be rolling, grown. So this makes sense to everybody, including me. What do we think of Amazing Grace? Okay, an album that we are going to treat with the respect that it deserves. Russell, what do you think?
I think it's interesting. I had a hard time understanding, like, it's not a greatest hits, but it's not like these are all, I mean, they're all covers, right? Or for the most part, they're not her. She didn't write these songs, right? So
Right.
I had a hard time with that, but I will say this, we've talked before sometimes with Bruce or Dylan, there's a handful of artists where they've had multiple albums and we've said, hey, this is too many of the artists up here. I don't have a problem with that. There should be as many Aretha albums in the top 500 as we want, and I would never argue against it. Could you argue some of these songs are the greatest ever? Could you argue this is the greatest singer ever? Yes. If someone told me this is a top 10 album ever, I wouldn't even argue with them. And we've listened to so much stuff so far where I'm just shocked by that. If someone told me this is their favorite album ever, I'm not saying it's mine, but I would get it. I could see how this would resonate with someone to the 10th power. So to me, I think this is rolling boned. I think it should be higher on the list. I think when you have the greatest singer of all time, I just don't see how you could argue against anything she's doing. And to me, I kind of liked, I said this earlier, I liked how it was stripped down a little bit, right? It's not at least from my perspective, not overproduced or they're not messing with stuff. So I'm going to say it's rolling boned. I really loved it. I don't think I could ever turn that off.
Matt, what do you think? Rolling well toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan?
Oh, Rosie changed my mind a little bit here. I like the album. I mean, obviously Aretha is extremely talented, but watching the movie, I can't get over how she, just her body language in the movie. And it didn't seem like it was hers. It didn't seem like she wanted to be there. It seemed like she was being used to create this thing. And I don't know. It's hard.
I see.
Did the fact that she didn't want to release this when somebody finally sunk everything up, does that tell you something about, I don't know. Like, is it an album? Should it be the greatest live recording ever? Maybe, that's seeming like a top 10, but the album is not what the recording was, is not what the movie was. And I just don't feel like Aretha had any say in this other than being the singer who was belting out these great songs. So can I not vote? I don't want to vote on this one.
Yeah, actually nobody cares about this part at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to vote on this one. I mean,
hey, Matt,
I don't know.
I not want to vote as a rolling well toned, I'd say.
Okay, we'll go rolling well toned then. Yeah. Aretha should be here. These songs should be here, but should this album be here? I don't know.
Aaron, what do you think? Rolling well toned, rolling bone, or rolling groan?
Yeah, I'm with Matt. I hate voting for this. It's a big deal that this recording exists. This is the greatest singer of our lifetime in the element in which she grew up. It's how she learned to sing. It's the music she learned. It's the music that was in her house with her family. So it's a huge deal that we can even listen to this. It doesn't have, I don't think, the best sound quality of the best live recordings, because I don't think it was intended to be that. And I don't know why they chose to sequence it the way they did. So the decisions that were made to make it an album, I'm not sure about. But at the same time, we're very lucky that we can even listen to it at all. So I'm going to give it a rolling well-toned like Matt, because I'd rather not vote on it given what I know.
Okay.
But I do listen to it often, and I will continue listening to it.
Russ, can you put I don't want to vote on this signed Aaron in the episode description, please? So that's the first thing people read.
Hey, Rob, remember I said rolling bone. It should be higher on the list.
There you go.
Russell
These
bold.
guys are just like, I can't vote on it.
I give this a rolling cremation. Okay, Aaron,
no. What?
You want to come and sing one of these songs at my funeral, I think that would be great.
Sure like the bone.
And of course, you know that I'm going to get cremated at my funeral, because the joke is going to be they're going to carry out a bunch of sand in a 5-gallon bucket. That's the joke, is when I get cremated, it fits into a 5-gallon bucket. It's a good bit. Listen, next up.
Rob, and they're going to have to put it by the new fan that they just put in, like the new air conditioner at your cabin.
It just blows all over.
Blows it all over.
Oh my God, that'd be great. Next up. Why does all these ashes taste like pineapple Truly? That's so weird. Next up.
I wasn't even tasting them to begin with.
Next, is this Mr. Pizza?
Ooh, it's an edge piece. Or my favorite.
Party cut. I love the party cut.
Listen, next up. Okay. It's Throwing Copper by Live. No, next up. The next album. Guys, the next album is like a math book.
How so?
It's got 99 problems, and I'm not going to work on them as hard as I should. And later I'll realize I actually worked too hard on them. And it was some weird thing I had with pleasing people when I should have been focusing on my own interest to make me the best person I could be instead of always trying to please my mom. I'm not good at math, Mom. I never will be. Okay. It doesn't matter anymore. We got Jay-Z, the Black Album.
Yes, 94. My trunk is raw.
This is a Russ owned CD. It's one of the few albums on the list that I own the CD at one point.
It got knocked off by Dumb and Dumber.
I also own that CD. My favorite song on the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack was "Hooray for Peter Pumpkinhead."
Guys, we almost talked about live and didn't do Crash Test Dummy song. That was so close. We just pulled it out.
Just made it.
To all our fans out there, best regards and thanks.
To find out what math kids are learning in North Dakota.
Yes. What are they learning?
Yeah.
Daddy, I drank a Budweiser. And now the kids won't play with me because they say I'm too woke.
Oh, no. That's terrible. Ding.